Welcome to the show, and here are your hosts, the diabolical Elite Gaming Guru, the illustrious Red Dead Panda, and the Australian stud Ashtray Gaming. So let's get this party started. Shit.
We are live. Just
call us monologuing.
We're live.
Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. That's Red's fault. She's the boss, and she's meant to keep look out for us.
I can't stop talking, so you know
in the
this
background
fact.
chatting. Yeah, and right. Okay, so yeah. Nothing. Ashtray saying nothing. Oh, there's nothing on screen, or there's nothing working. Can you hear us, Ashtray? There's nothing on the screen. The screen showed nothing.
What? Okay.
See that? Look at the screen. There we go.
What the hell's going on? 1 second.
Or was it just a load screen? Can you hear us? Can anyone hear us? Or is it just Ashtray trying to jeopardise us?
It might be because
it's showing something now.
It's showing something now. Blame me. It was my fault.
Yeah.
100% my fault because I was delayed and I was busy talking about games and I totally wasn't focusing. So Ashtray, you're here. You're gone 1 week and I'm already destroying the podcast.
Told you, Ashtray.
Yeah.
That's what happens when we put a girl in charge.
Hey, your reverse hysterectomy, you know. Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. It works wonders. Right, anyway. So episode 71, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Everyone in the chat, Smitty, Infinite's here. I'm not going to mention him because he's in the podcast. Graham Mad, Muppet. Who else we got? Paul AFC. That's not Aston Villa Football Club, is it? Paul, come on, man. You can do better than that. Thank you all for joining us, and hello and welcome back to another podcast with the gang, with me, myself, and Red Dead. Ashtray's not here because he had his eyebrows shaved and he's getting tattooed on, which is just weird. I don't know
They're
why
making them two eyebrows now.
Yeah, two eyebrows. Yeah, therefore just a monobrow. We've got DeBlue in the chat. Hello, DeBlue. So today's guests. Got two amazing people today to replace Ashtray, which is not hard. We've got Infinite Umbra. Hello, Infinite. How are you doing, mate?
What have you been up to?
Good, brother. I've been up to a few things. What were you going to say?
I was going to say, because in your chat on your thing, it's got Umbra, but everywhere else is Infinite. Do you call it Infinite Umbra? Umbra?
Yeah,
Infinite?
Umbra will be the shortened version. You know,
Umbra.
You don't have to call me by that full thing every time.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, some people get funny about their names. So
or if you play Halo with them, just call him second place. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
I'm going to rectify that the next time we have our community night.
I think you are, but then I'm going to come back and stomp you.
Absolutely. But yeah, man, it's great to be here. Thank you guys for having me.
It's great. It's great to have you aboard.
Absolutely. And again, get to chop it up with you all. And of course, with my good brother Dirt here. So yeah, I'm happy to be here, guys. And I'm doing double duty. I was going to do 3 podcasts today because I was going to join Boom's Breakfast with Boom show earlier, but I was too tired, so I just went to sleep. But you know, I got up in time to do this, and of course we have Xbox Infinite after this. So yeah, as far as what I've been doing, I've been playing Solstice I bought and Deathloop. So loving both a lot so far.
Glad to hear that. We also have the amazing Dirk Griggity with us here today. So glad you could join us. Like Elite said, we have 2 amazing guests replacing Ashtray, which isn't hard, but we do miss you, Ashtray. So yeah. But what have you been up to, and where can people find you? Yeah.
Oh well, I've been playing a little Deathloop. I've been doing a lot of podcasts. Like Umbra said, I've been doing a lot of podcasts. I did one earlier. With my boy Shawn TTS, you know, we just talk. We just 2 hours of just talking trash. That's what we do. I did one by myself yesterday, Wednesday. I was a Gaming Addict podcast.
I
think I was
to
off on
say hi to
Tuesday.
one of yours for like 5 seconds, and then I had to go back to work.
Yeah, I've just been doing so much stuff. But yeah, just been doing that and playing a little Deathloop, playing a little NBA 2K, just having a little fun. But that's about it. Thanks for having me on.
Oh,
I saw your
appreciate
podcast the other day, by the way, by yourself when you were doing it.
Oh yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, I was just
Yeah, no doubt.
I
Always
just had to,
support.
like sometimes you just got to go do you got to talk about it. And
Yeah.
you don't want to restrict yourself to a 10-minute video sometimes. You just got
True.
You
True.
just,
go
you
ahead.
Yeah, when I
just
saw it, I
gotta
was
run
surprised.
free,
It was so
right?
long. Yeah, I was surprised. It was like an hour and such. Yeah. I was like, yeah, you got to talk that.
You got to talk it sometime.
Yeah.
You got to talk that truth, because if we don't, people are just going to believe what Jim Ryan says. So yeah.
Exactly.
I'm just gonna be a bit of a fanboy here and say I do actually go to Griggety's podcast. I do watch them religiously. I do like your podcast a lot.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it, man.
It's hilarious. I love it.
So I'm sorry, it's a bit slobbery.
I appreciate
Are you
it. I know
admitting
it's
you're
now,
a simp, Elite? Is that what you're admitting right now?
I love the style. I love it. I think it's brilliant. The comedy and there's such good. I don't know. They just judge you all just gel so well and bounce off each other really well, and it's good. And that's what we sort of bring here.
Yeah,
and I love your little sort of I love the little comedy sketches kind of thing you sort of chuck in there.
Yeah, I appreciate that because I've been listening to a podcast in this community for a long time. I say, we could do this the same old. Let's try to do something a little different. Have a little fun with it. So
it does remind me of like when I watch you on it reminds me almost like watching sort of the Family Guy. The comedy sketches where they sort of just break the little thing in between. To break up and I think it's great.
Thank you. I appreciate
You all have great chemistry, man. That's one thing I noticed.
Yeah,
when I came on, man, when I came on at that time, it was like it's a. I don't want to say it's a struggle, but it's something you have to learn to try to acclimate to because your chemistry is so great. So anybody coming into it has to try to match that energy. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, you all have a great thing going, brother. I always appreciate hearing you guys takes on everything like that.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I said, so we just try to have fun. I know our style of podcast isn't for everybody. Yeah. Because we swear a lot. Especially I know they don't like it. But, I know we swear a lot. We it's a different thing. But at the same time, we do talk games. We talk about the news, and we talk trash.
We
of course.
Talk some shit.
They seem to be working for us. They seem to be working for me. So.
Well, it is working for you. So. If you haven't ever watched it, jump over to their channel and
guys, please check out his channel and Umbra's as well.
Xbox Infinite podcast, definitely check that out. Make sure if you do check it out that you completely trash talk Risket because he's a fraud, the biggest fraud ever.
As we call him here, Limp Risket.
Limp Risket. Yeah. I'm gonna get so much trouble for doing that to him.
So I just want to see what you guys have been playing then. What you been playing, Umbra and Griggity?
They already said this. Were you not listening? You were too busy fangirling. I get it.
That's awkward.
We both definitely just said it, so apparently.
Oh, shit. I was really
I'm the only one listening, apparently.
No, that's really girly.
That's all good, brother.
I feel pathetic now, thanks for that.
You're welcome.
Solstice and Deathloop for me, and Dirt said Deathloop as well.
Shit.
Well, what have you been playing, Elite? What have you been up to this week?
Who, me?
Yeah.
You never asked what I've been up to. Oh.
Okay, this got awkward. I'll see you guys next week.
That's so sweet.
I've been playing that Midnight Express. I'm loving that game. Have you guys played Midnight Express on Game Pass?
Oh yeah, no. I played it.
Yeah. That's the fighting game, right?
Yeah,
I played a little bit of it.
It's like John Wick. If you get into it, when you get all your weapons and you get guns and stuff like that, and more moves, you get more skills, and it's like John Wick basically. You just obliterate people in it. You do all sorts of just things in it. It's amazing. I'm really enjoying that. I've been playing Deathloop, of course. I'm only about an hour into that. But I'm enjoying it. I'm one of those guys that didn't get too much into Prey or what's the other one? Dishonored. Yeah,
I love those games.
Yeah, I wasn't big fans of those, but I'm preferring this more. I'm not sure what it is.
I'm kind of with you on that one. And the original Prey, if you all don't know, like it was different, way different. Do you remember that one, Dirt? That was on the 360. Yep.
I definitely remember. Yeah.
Yeah. So this new one is like just conceptually different all the way around.
It just seems more fast paced and. Go on, sorry.
No, let me say about Prey. I actually heard that it wasn't. It was just a game by itself. something happened where they got the rights to the name Prey, and they decided just to name the game Prey. I think that was a mistake. They should have just kept it as its own new IP.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'm the opposite of you guys. I love Prey. I love Dishonored franchise. This one started off, now definitely started off a little slow, but it's starting to pick up now. Now, since I know, like I have to kill those 8 people, and so it's starting to pick up a little bit.
Yeah, you start to uncover the mystery of what's going on.
Yeah.
It definitely opens up.
The story is definitely, you can see the story forming, and it's far better than Returnal.
Oh
shit!
Have you played Returnal?
No, but they're both.
I played it.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
It's like Space Harrier 2022.
It's like Recall.
2016.
I
haven't played Space Harrier in so many years.
You know, I played it recently in the game Lost Judgment. You know, Lost Judgment, you're going to the arcade. Yeah, you can play it. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah, they do that. They're actually really good at that. They even do it in the Yakuza games too.
Yep, good stuff.
So I've always been playing a lot of Shadow Hunt Showdown, and I've downloaded Ni Kundu. I'm gonna play that when I get a moment. So has anyone tried that yet?
Nope.
What's the name of it?
Ni Kundu.
Oh, Ni no Kuni. Yeah, I played a bit.
Oh yeah, you know what? I'm not really a big JRPG guy, but I
was told to check.
I gave this game a try. Yeah, I gave it a try on my phone because I was just lying in bed. I said, let me just see what's on X Cloud or whatever. And I said, oh, let me try this game. And you know, like the beginning of it is actually pretty good, but there's not a lot of gameplay in the beginning.
True.
But so far it's actually pretty good. But I have to see what happened, you know, with the little boy.
Yeah,
but yeah,
it's got
that's the
Studio Ghibli art, however you say their name, their art style and presentation of things. So it's got a classic feel to it when it comes to that anime, aesthetic. So I like that about it too. But it seems like it's kind of an easy game, right? Like when you play it, it doesn't seem really difficult.
Is it just a story-driven game, really?
I think so. But I'm going to give it another go once I finish up these games I'm playing now.
Because that's what I'm worried about. The hype about Persona. I'm worried about Persona's just being sort of story-driven and not really. I could be wrong, but is it? Has anyone played Persona? Those games.
I have never played them. So when it comes over, I'm gonna give it a try when it lands over here. I'm gonna do it. I'm doing it out of spite, just because it's never been over here, and I don't want the PlayStation fanboys to.
And then we can play it and say, "Shit, didn't play it."
I'm gonna play it just because of that. Yeah.
Yep. Now I've played it, and yes, it is shit. Like we thought. Yeah. Because I've never been a big JRPG fan, but now we get to play them, and we don't have to pay $70 for them, and so we get to find out for ourselves. So that's why I'm going to play them all the games that I used to say are not very good. I'm going to play them and confirm they're not very good. So
I mean, listen, you got the Game Pass thing going. Why not try it out? It's not going to hurt you. It's just a little time. Yeah.
And you have to pay for it. You have to pay for demos on Xbox.
And by the way, thank you, Elite, for asking what I've been up to this week. I really appreciate.
Oh, I thought you was here. Sorry.
Yeah. Thank you.
I've been texting.
Actually, you don't really need to ask what I've been up to this week, because I've played maybe 30 minutes of Deathloop, and I've played some Halo, and that's about it. I haven't really been online.
Is that why this week's gameplay is repeat from last week?
This is my gameplay, actually, of me playing it. Last week was Ashtray's gameplay, so just pointing that out. Yeah,
that's probably why the gameplay's better this week.
He started this game before me, and I completed the first level very quickly, and then found all the items in it before he did. So he went back to go find them all, and then
Ashtray's trash again.
Yeah. I mean, he has now gone back and completed the whole game, in the sense of getting every achievement. I haven't done that yet because I just haven't yet, but
he once messaged me asking me how he teabags. So
yeah, that's all good. But yeah. I was talking to you guys before the show. I've been on cloud 9 this week. I had a couple of really good dates, and so I haven't really been able to focus on video games or even doing work apparently. But yeah. So I kind of feel bad. I'm going to try and play some games later today, but I do have a whole heap of crap around my house to do.
Such a fraud.
Yeah, I am. I'm really a fraud, and I should.
Getting relationships before gaming.
Yeah.
Fraud.
Wow.
Disgusting.
Video games don't cuddle me at night, so.
Definitely
now that we're talking about the games like that, me and Riskett have a thing going where we have a bet going on we're going to play Fight Night, right? And he got 2 victories. Yeah, he got 2 victories against me out of 10. maybe like 12 total, and he got like 2 victories. So he feels good about himself. He got the last victory, and then like, oh, I got to get off the game. I'm like, oh, how convenient. So we're gonna have a actual fight tonight after the podcast if he feels well enough, because he's been sick unfortunately again. And so the bet is that if I win, he'll have to pay the $10 sucker fee that they charge PlayStation gamers to cover from Call of Duty. I mean, not Call of Duty, for God of War. So I'm getting God of War, but he'll have to pay the $10 fee part, right? Because I
Just
refuse to pay
annihilate
$70
him.
for a game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to, absolutely. But if I lose, I have to pay for the $70 game myself, and I've refused to pay for any $70 game. So that's the bet.
Ah, fair enough.
Yeah.
And
I'm
we're
not-
streaming
I'm
it
never
too.
gonna pay. Yeah.
Streaming
Yeah,
it?
it's going to be on
Okay.
YouTube. Yeah, we're going to put it on YouTube so
Okay.
you all can check it out.
So that means we can just kind of create great gifs on Twitter of just you knocking him out non-stop.
Yes.
Like everyone
Yes.
who's watching needs to, post that up and like really.
I fully encourage it.
Yeah, we do. We do
I
encourage
think
it.
we've got gameplay of. Wasn't it you, me? Sorry, Red. Wasn't you, me, and Ashtray and Riskit when we was playing on Halo? And we was having one-on-ones
Ashtray on
or
Halo?
forum.
I don't know.
Yeah, it was us, wasn't it? And then I was destroyed him in that. And we done the one we had the gravity where there's no gravity. I'm pretty sure it was.
No,
it
he
was
doesn't.
on that.
He's a fraud. He doesn't play Halo.
No.
Do you think it's time to get into some topics, Elite? Do you want to start?
Should we get
us
into
off?
topics?
Yep.
Do you
Thank
want
you
to
to
start, get the
all
ball
those
rolling?
watching, by the way. Appreciate you here every week, and it's another great show with 2 great guests for episode 71 of the Gamers Initiative podcast. So, if you're enjoying enjoy the show every week, hit that like button, share it out, and just tell everybody, and make sure you tell Elite in the chat that he's a fraud. He loves it.
Oh, that's not true. Let's go. Topic number one.
Gee.
That was actually my voice, so that wasn't some form of sound effect.
Yeah.
Hey, look at that guy doing his own sound effect.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Number one.
GTA 6 leaks online. So, I mean, we've got a link to this, but I mean, this has sort of been a bit done to death. And I listened to it on Dirt's podcast. So, yeah. So, what you guys got to say about what's your input really on this? I didn't even actually look at any of it. I didn't want any of it to be spoiled, and I sort of avoided it like a nerd. But what's your takes on it? I'm gonna go to Umbra first. Go on, Umbra. What's your take on the GTA leaks?
And the
I
legitimacy
don't know how
of
you
them.
avoided it. Yeah, well, see, the thing is, when we first saw, we were doing a Halo community night, and it popped up, and it was like, oh, a GTA 6. I'm like, that's no way this is GTA 6. They would allow that. This is Rockstars. They be with 2K and such, and that wouldn't allow such a thing to happen. But then, reality hits. Anybody can get you off the internet. It's not, it's not impossible. So I looked at it again. I kept looking it over, and they were like, oh, 90 videos leaked. And I'm looking at the footage, and I remember talking to Jedi Knight Peter, and I said to him, I said, as we were playing, I said, they say that the GTA 6 videos leaked, and it was stolen by somebody and such, a hacker. And I'm like, I don't know how true it is, and because visually it didn't impress me all the way yet. So I looked at it, and I'm like, and this lady, like, she's like, I'm, part of my friendship. I'm not trying to be funny, but like, she kind of thick, ain't she? Did you think that, Dirt? I know I'm not.
Hell
wrong.
yeah, I did.
He fancies the nuts of her. That's all he spoke about in his podcast. How fine she
Man,
was.
Guru, I saw it.
yeah.
I'm like, she a little thicker than a Snicker, ain't she? Yeah, she thicker than a Snicker. I didn't. That's why it made me threw me off. It threw me off. I was like, this. Now we heard about the protagonist. They were saying it might be the first female protagonist and a male protagonist with her, right? So we heard about that.
Their brother and sister, probably, or something like that.
Oh, I didn't know they were related. Okay, so yeah, so we heard about that some time back. It was a leak, not a leak, but it was a rumor about that. So when I saw the two, I was like, oh, well, there is a lady and it's a guy, so maybe. So let me look at it further. I looked at it again. I'm like, at first I was like, it's not that impressive visually and animation wise, but then I looked at it again. I was like, and saw the lighting and all that. I'm like, actually, it's not that bad actually, and it's pre-alpha footage, so you can expect that it wouldn't look so great just yet, right? So the more I looked at it, the more I was like, no, this actually does look pretty damn good. And a lot of people joke about it, and I think somebody in the chat may have said it, but it looks actually a bit better than Saints Row does, like, in some ways.
I mean, that's not hard at this point,
know.
but you know.
Well, yeah, I guess so. But no, it looked really good after I gave it another look, and some people had said after the fact that they gave their condolences to the devs and such, and my thought was, I don't think you really needed to. I don't think this hurt them. I think this helped GTA. To me, it hyped me up more for the game personally.
I do wonder sometimes when these leaks come out, are they actually leaks, or do the developers just sort of leak it out just to build
up hype? I hear you on that, but I feel like they don't have to do that for GTA, right? You know what I mean? Yes, GTA is its own monolith, so like they don't have to. But my thinking, well, this one right here was theft, right? Because the guy, hacked it and stole it. They caught him.
Young just said, that's what Young just said in the chat. Yeah, he's being
17-year-old boy. I'm like, wow, 17 years old. So he's not going to prison.
He's trying to bribe him, wasn't he?
Oh well, yeah, he did supposedly, but he's not going to prison. They're going to hire him somewhere. That much is certain.
Imagine if you found out his son was doing that. You'd be like, "Fucking well done, son," wouldn't you?
Exactly. And like, we want you to hack into Russia now.
He's definitely going to get a job, no doubt about that.
Without a doubt. And just to let Palace Guard know, Space Marines suck. Master Chief is the best. But yeah, absolutely. When I saw it, I was like, at first I was like, but then I looked up like, it's all right. So I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be good. Like you said, Guru, I didn't look at all the videos and such because I didn't. But the thing is, what was leaked, just to alleviate any fears for anybody, it's not really anything that's spoilery. Outside of maybe a few. Yeah, it's nothing that's going to ruin anything for you. So
100%.
I wouldn't put too much stock into worrying about that, just to be honest, unless you go through all 90 and I don't know, look at some of the dialogue, I guess, because there's some spoken dialogue, but it's nothing that's crazy. But other than that, I wouldn't worry about it. But like I said, I think it helped more than it hurt as far as the excitement and joy for it. Because some people were like, it destroyed the hype. No, I don't think it did at all. I think it helped overall completely.
Agree. Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. It didn't hurt the game at all. And actually, after everything leaked, the gaming industry kind of came together. When people this is the thing that kind of pissed me off about it. Some of these gamers, that game looks like shit. Bro, the game is it's still an alpha. Like the footage is an alpha. And I thought it still looked pretty decent, pretty good.
I haven't even started
to be honest with you
at all, so
Yeah, I still thought it looked pretty good. I love the Grand Theft Auto franchise. I don't play online, but I love the campaigns. Same. I thought GTA 5 was the absolute masterpiece of a game. This one I'm extremely excited for. When it leaked, I was like, okay. The main protagonist, they make her attractive. Like I don't know, like maybe it's just me, but even on Saints Row, I always, if you have a game where you can choose your character, in certain games, I just make my character like a female for some reason. I don't know why. Not all games, but
if it's third person, I know why.
That. How you say what?
I said if it's third person, I know why.
Oh yeah, but so it's just so I was like, that's cool to be a female main character in the GTA game. I think that's pretty dope. Even though there's a second character, I looked at a couple of the videos. It was one in a diner that I thought looked pretty good in its current state. You know what I'm saying? They were robbing the diner. It looked pretty good to me. I said, okay, I can't wait for the game. So I agree with what you said, Umbra. I thought these leaks helped the game. It didn't hurt anything. It helped the game. Because me personally, I was like, yo, when is this game coming out? 2024? I can't wait. I hope it doesn't get delayed. Because, it's a huge franchise, man. Huge franchise. And
it is. Now, looking forward to it. Do you think it will be delayed, though, Dirt, because of this thing?
It's definitely possible, but I know Rockstar came out and said, well, they didn't say, they just said they're going to continue to work on the game. So it's definitely possible, but I hope if it is delayed, it's not much by much.
Yeah. Why would they delay it though? Because of the leaks, though. I think the only reason they delay something due to showing something is that people then criticize what's been shown. Well, and then they thought, oh shit, we better adapt what's been shown. But in this case, no one's really complained about it, have they?
Yeah, I know. I think people were saying because some of the source code was stolen also.
That's exactly why. Yep.
Since they found this little 17-year-old dude, I don't know. Like maybe everything is gonna be good.
That's what
I
I'm
hope
wondering
so.
too. That's what
Yeah.
I'm wondering. If they have him and stopped him from leaking the full source code, then
Yeah.
all is well. But the problem is if he does have that out in the wild, the problem it can be now, as far as I understand, and I talked to a few dev friends on Twitter about it, is that leaves it. You know how China does tons of copyright infringement and they can't get away. They can get away with it. That's what that does basically. So these guys have the code. It's like it's a recipe for making the game, right? So they can get that in over in different areas that don't have the laws and such that we do. They can create that game. They can recreate it in their own version.
You could have sold it
put
on
it out.
already.
Absolutely, and sell it out themselves, which could, jeopardize. I'm not going to say jeopardize. Let's say affect the game in some ways.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but then I mean, he could be great at hacking, but he's at the end of the day, he's a 17-year-old boy. Would he have the Chinese contacts, people in China, and those kind of contacts to be able to do that?
Maybe.
So,
I mean, you never know. I would imagine that. I mean, listen, any foreign power, be they China or Russia. We would think, as us, just being normal, regular people, we would think, they don't want that. Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Yeah.
They absolutely do.
If you know teenage kids, they can be geniuses. They can be the most intelligent people on the earth, but they still can be very naive.
True.
To stuff. Yeah. So he might.
I found it funny, by the way, that somebody got scammed out of 100K. Because somebody portraying themselves as the hacker posted this, to get the Bitcoin from him. Yeah, and the guy paid him 100,000 and lost it by being a fool by it. I'm like, wow. I wish I would have been that smart.
You and me both.
So, Dirt, just between you and me, no one else listening. When you first see the protagonist, the girl on there, was you? My mom was telling me no. But my body.
Hold on, now I got to hear you sing that fully now.
I can see nothing wrong with a little bump and grind.
Oh my goodness!
What is this podcast turned into today? This is going south.
You all might not
know. Elite. What you know about that, Elite?
Yeah.
Was you all over that? Did you look at that? He was like, oh yeah.
Guru turn the lights down, get his girl.
That's early. Hey, that's early 90s. That's my high school years.
Yeah, I know.
Dirt. Now, he might not know about me being signed to WBG Records, man.
Oh yeah, mate. Oh man.
You might have to sign Guru. Yeah, you might have to sign him up.
I still got it. That's my first single.
We could do so. Yeah, we could do.
Yeah, Guru,
so,
you getting the notes, man.
I'm not too bad. I'm actually quite. I'm a better dancer, actually. I'm actually a very good dancer, but that's another story.
Well, we saw your dancing in that video at the start, so.
No. So, Red, have you got anything to say? No, right. Let's go on to the next topic.
You are right. I don't have anything to add to this because I didn't watch anything to do with the leaks or anything like that. Because, I guess the only thing I want to say is it's nice to hear that there will be a female protagonist because I guess it's just that choice. Whenever you play a game, whether it's some form where you're playing a role, you get a choice to play whatever gender that you want, and I guess it's more inclusive in that respect. Who cares though? But diversifying in that regard and making the game more accessible to more people, because some people choose to play specific genders for specific games, and then they won't play a game because they don't have the option to play what they want to play. And that's all I wanted to add to that. But yeah, we can move along onto the next topic. You want to lead this off with that one?
Topic.
Topic.
Are you gonna run with it then? Or shall I go with it?
I have to bring it up. Where is it?
Okay.
All right. Okay. Yes, I do want to. Yeah. All right. So if you guys have been living under a rock, and hopefully you haven't, you'll see that there is a report that there is a revised PS5 model coming out in 2023 with a detachable disk drive, and this will be like the fifth iteration of the PS5 at this point. I feel like, or it's technically will be a completely new SKU, but or version. What are you guys' thoughts on this? Do you think it's like needed, not needed, or like do you think? Yeah, what, you started off with Umbra. I'm gonna start off with Dirt this round. So Dirt, what are your thoughts on this?
What the hell is going on?
Yeah,
they keep on revising that POS. It's a big POS. That's what it is. They keep on revising it, and at the same time, with every revision, they up the price. What is this crap? Who needs a I don't even understand it. So it's a digital and a physical PS5 in one, but you take off the disk drive, or the disk drive separate. I don't even know what's going on.
I just realized I put the wrong link in the chat for that, so I'm going to go grab the right link for this one.
I'm just hilarious. Like what's going on?
I don't get it either.
Like, the PS5 digital is the disk drive is sold separately. What? I'm confused.
This seems like a clear money grab, doesn't it? This is just like, what can we do to make more money off them? Off who? Off the idiots? What can we do to just make more money off them? Give them a disk drive on the side to plug into the digital one that's not selling. Yeah, just fucking do it. How much we charge? I don't know. How much are they going to charge on this? 100? Do you think they're going to charge about $100 this?
I would say 100 to 150.
Yeah.
I would imagine.
Like, probably the disk drive in each unit probably costs that $10, $20, doesn't it?
Yeah, that won't cost them much.
Yeah. So they get charged about $100 this, and all the ones with digital going, I bought digital. This is what I mean. I bought a digital console to play digital games, and all my games digital. And now I'm going to buy a disc drive for my digital console, though I have no.
I was trying to figure the logic out between the two. I honestly was like, why? If I bought a digital, why would I want the disc drive? Why would I want that?
Right. They will buy it because they're idiots. I'm going to buy it and just show my support. And that's what they would say. I'm just showing my support.
Well, it sounds like
they'll show a picture of it. They'll Twitter a picture on it. A picture of them with their disc drive. Going,
I know exactly what you're talking about. And that's how brainwashed a lot of these guys are zealots.
I'm supporting.
For sure.
Stupid, man.
Yeah, I've seen them say things like that.
I just think it's funny that this will probably be phasing out the other version. So all these people who've been buying this previous two versions of the PS5, there's only going to be the one version, which is the discless version, and then you can pay for the bundle, which will give you the attachable disc drive, which will connect via a USB-C port on the back of the console. I think that's hilarious, and also, what the fuck? I guess it's partly to do with disc costs. So, they can cut down on costs and maybe get some more consoles out in the process instead of making two versions of the same system. They'll probably be able to get more units out faster. But I just looked at this and I was like, are we being trolled? Is it April 1st already? And I didn't notice because this just seems... I mean, choice is everything, right? And it's probably smarter for them in the long run as a business model because we've seen how they've been gouging the price and passing every cost onto the consumer in their ecosystem. And maybe this might be the way that they bring the console back down by $50 worldwide. Who knows? Or they'll charge you more just for the sake of it. Like, the new one's slimmer and lighter and so on and so forth, but, like, why didn't you do this in the first place? Like, what's the next version going to be? The PS5 at the end of the generation is not going to be the PS5 we saw at the beginning of the generation at all. So, I guess that's
made by God, by genius, by the way.
I don't know. It's just the funniest thing ever in my eyes that we're seeing another iteration. And the console, by this point, the console will have been out less than 3 years if it's due to come out in September. And yeah, I don't know. It just feels like a lot of backtracking and still trying to figure out what the market needs because you can't really get digital versions by itself. You only can really get the disc version, and they're probably finding out the disc version is the most popular, but it's maybe more expensive to make, and who knows. Yeah,
my thinking on it is, and it's much like Dirt said, it's like, why does this need to exist?
Yeah. In the chat, what do you guys think? Do you think this needs to exist, this console iteration? Because or are you just happy with the 2 SKU version that they've got? Because they really should have done the 2 SKU version that Xbox did, where, like, they saw the stats last generation with the PS4 Pro and the PS4, but then they probably, they could have just done that this gen, but they didn't, and then they could have really got into the market that way through a competitive price.
If that works that way.
the way that the Series S is coming into the market in such a competitive price, because that's always on sale now, and that's like, if you are blind, deaf or anything else, like this is such a good deal, why wouldn't you buy it? And I feel like Sony had a massive missed opportunity as a result by going with the 2 SKU model that they went with, rather than the weaker entry model where they can get a whole heap of people into their system. And then they've got the hardcore gamers, because they're hardcore on the PlayStation side. They like to tell us that they want to spend all that money and they don't care how much that Sony charges them, they're willing to pay it. And then they'll buy that high-end model, kind of like the Series S versus the Series X. And it would make a nice companion device anyway, a cheaper companion device, and you'll get more people buying consoles. Word of mouth would spread, and I feel like it would be a positive thing for your actual brand. But they keep freaking kicking themselves in the face every time they make these stupid moves. I've stopped talking, Elite. You can talk now.
Hey, can y'all hear me? Hey, can y'all hear me?
Oh, we can now. We can now.
We can hear you. Yeah,
I keep on going out.
But I could hear Red and Umbra talking at the same time. Anyone else hear that? It was like weird. It was like they was both just having a massive rant, but exactly at the same time. But they couldn't hear each other,
bro. No,
Did you hear
what's
that?
going on? Because I just went out.
Dirt went quiet and Red went quiet, but you could hear her every now and then going like,
Okay.
What I could hear is
Something's
I could hear you both talking, you and Red talking at the same time, and you both talking exactly at the same time, and I could hear Grit in the background going, hello, hello, hello.
What the heck is going on?
Yeah,
no idea.
I think
the ponies heard us talking about this and were like, that's enough.
Those sons of bastards.
Yeah, they started hacking. They're like, oh, that's enough.
POS.
Apparently,
I think
100% true. I'm going to take a look.
You know what's happened? This Discord's purposely fucking up so they're going to start charging for it. Oh no, we need better service.
It's such a good rant going on.
I hate Discord.
Yeah, it's poo. It's cat's poo. Yeah.
It's such a good rant going on.
And cat's poo is such bad poo. Cat's poo is like that really smelly poo that just turns white and it's just annoying.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. Shit. right. I've got nothing against white poo, by the way. Anyone that's just going to pull me up on that? Yeah. Right, so...
coming to you.
All right. Oh, no. I'm having issues on my end. I'll be right back. Can you guys hear each other?
Can everyone hear everything okay?
Okay,
I can hear you.
I can hear you guys now.
You can hear me?
Can
everyone hear okay? Everyone good?
We can only hear Red.
Ashtray said we can only hear Red.
All right. Can you guys hear everyone else now? I don't know what is happening today. Apparently, OBS and Discord hates everyone, and yeah.
Can you all hear us?
Can we all be heard before we carry on? Can we all be? Because we go to the next topic. Can everyone be heard?
Can everyone
Ashtray,
be heard?
Sappho. Welcome, Sappho. Welcome to the group to the gang.
Yeah.
Can y'all hear? Sappho, what's happening, sucker?
Red being quiet is not normal. I agree
Jab,
with you,
turkey, sucker, fool.
I agree. It's not normal when I'm quiet.
Paddy Scar's giving Umbra shit.
Hey, you should do Deathloop too.
Destroy him.
Umbra.
I would, I've been playing that. I've been hearing them talking to Jab talk. I'm like, you know what?
Yeah. Hey, baby. Who am you?
Yeah, who am you?
Hey, baby. Who am you? What your name is?
What your name is, girl?
I'm like, why does like black guys in every gang gotta talk like that? Like, all black guys don't talk like that.
That's true. It has that 70s aesthetic, though. So
yeah, I'm like, come on, man.
Come on, have sex with your friend Charlie Murphy.
Charlie Murphy.
Come on, Charlie Murphy.
Charlie Murphy.
All right. They can hear us,
Yeah,
guys.
friend,
So
Charlie
we
Murphy.
are good. We are good.
We good. Okay, let's go.
Let's go. All right.
We're good, yes. So we can carry on.
Yeah, except
Are you
they
still here,
can't
Ed?
hear you, Elite, specifically, because I don't want them to. So yeah.
Oh, damn.
I think my voice on a high level because I'm like godlike, like Cerny. I'm on Cerny's level.
But the last thing we were talking about is how useless this added-on disk drive is for the PlayStation 5.
You just round it off. That it's the fifth. Do you think it's just cut it to the chase? Do you think that it's just they're actually going to modify the console itself as well? Again, just sort of sneakily modify it, just fit this new drive in.
No. They may just add another USB thing into the back of it, maybe. Oh, who's talking? They're cut out. It's gone quiet again. What is up with the audio today? Can you guys still hear some of us? Yeah, we're getting hacked. Apparently getting hacked. I'm gonna go figure out what the hell's happening with the audio.
Like Red's talking in tongues.
Yeah, man. Tongues.
Are we back? Are we back?
Apparently,
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. It's
what
really
the hell
glitchy.
is going on?
It's weird.
The pony.
Hey, yo,
I
hey, yo.
told you.
Elite, like, I'll be honest, man. I watch a show and you seem to have problems pretty often.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Some of that's my fault because like my laptop likes to do. I'm on Windows 11 and my laptop likes to do lots of updates.
Nothing she's saying.
Can you hear that? That is up really.
She was biting.
Yeah, badly.
You guys hear me now? Nope. Anything? Oh, no, Discord. I can't hear anything through Discord either.
Fortunately, we can hear Umbra.
I saw that.
Right.
I saw that shit. I'm like, I want to talk with him later.
Can you hear me now?
Fatality.
Fatality.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Internet just keeps going, nah, I fucking hate you. No, my Windows device, like, I'm on Windows 11, so it has lots of updates, and it really pisses me off that it has lots of updates. Yeah. Yeah.
That's a pretty good story.
You all think this was doing it, or?
Yes, yeah. Anytime there's updates for stuff, I did some updates, and then I applied them, and it's still being a bit weird. Yeah. It's not the most stable at the moment, like Windows 11. 50-50. Get Dirt to jump on Discord and back in again.
Dirt was saying about how he's gone to StreamYard as well, and I think maybe we should do that because everyone's seemed to have problem with Discord lately. I know.
StreamYard this is so easy.
Do you know
it's so
why?
easy.
Because
so
Sony
basic.
bought like their shares in it, and Sony knows that we're an Xbox positive.
Oh, is that what it is? Do you think what it is?
And they're like they're using Discord.
That's what it is.
Promote Xbox positivity.
Because it seemed to be fine for a while, and it'll just last month every Xbox podcast channel's been just fucking up. Weird.
Well, we can look at that. We can definitely look at that. Not sure what's happening, but okay.
Yeah, it's got StreamYard.
I'm coming through clearly on YouTube.
Fuck them all.
Okay. Well, sweet.
Right. Topic number 3. Free.
Are you saying you're free?
You
I wouldn't pay for you anyway. No.
Is she still buying? Right. New update for the Xbox Series X allows you to play Xbox One discs without an internal connection.
Cool.
Red, this is your thing. Is she there?
Sorry, I'm just clearing out the chat sex bot. Yeah.
Sex bot. I'll leave it in there. No, let me link it first. Let me take the link. No, don't ruin it. Right, yeah. Oh. I didn't get to know her name. We'll take it for dinner. Right,
Fucking sicko. What?
where did sex box come from?
You've made it when you got the sex box podcast.
I know.
Yeah, man.
Sex box podcast.
I had one actually leave a super chat one
Chat
time.
69's fault.
Yeah, wait a minute. One left a super chat.
It was listen on Sean's channel. One left for like a $2 super chat. We was like, what the hell? I swear.
Amazing.
They're becoming sentient.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're just trying to find
did you
elite
thank the sex
OnlyFans
bot?
account. Yeah, that's what they're really after.
We did.
Link
Please,
your
leave another
OnlyFans
one.
account in the chat, elite. That's what they're here for.
That's it is. They've seen my bod. They've seen my nipples.
yeah.
I've an OnlyFans
Topic
account that just shows my
3.
nipples.
Right, we're up to topic 3, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, has everyone seen the new update, basically, for the Series X?
No, we're waiting for you to catch up.
Catch up, you're in last place. If you don't recognise that, that's from Redline Racer on the PC from like the 90s. Just showing my age. Okay. But now you can actually play Xbox One games offline. You don't need to be connected online. So they've kind of allowed an update to remove that DRM on the system for those particular games, which I think is amazing. So we won't have any of those issues like we did last time when online access went down and people couldn't access any of their games. Do you guys think this is a good quality of life improvement? Are you happy to hear this? Or
Sure.
do you even care?
I mean,
yeah, your thoughts?
yeah, it's just one of those improvements. It might not really affect you or me or anybody else, but it's just good to have. Just like one of those things. It's good to have and not need it, and needed and not have it.
Yeah, I'm much in agreement with that. I still go back. I still go back sometimes and play some of my older games. So it works out for
Yep.
me 100%. Like even hell, we were just talking about Fight Night that I was saying that me and Riskit are on. So that's a prime example. The thing is like, it also works for 360 games,
Yes.
but you have to check in with that though. So it really only works for the Xbox One.
discs, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So yeah,
'Cause
unfortunately.
What
but,
it was
oh well.
was even if you installed the Xbox One disc onto your console, you still had to have that internet check-in for the DRM features before it could run. And that was probably one of the more
Right.
frustrating things if you had an issue with your internet or there was an issue with Xbox going down with their services. You were heavily impacted that way. And I think for those who still do buy physical or do have all of their, for the backwards compatibility, get access to play these games and they don't have that impeding it. Because we are moving into a more online digital environment, and so we need to look at ways to make sure that when the internet or other services online don't always necessarily work the way they should, that we aren't, as a community, being negatively impacted, because we put a lot of money into our hobby, into our passion around gaming and what we love to do each day and hang out with friends and so on and so forth. And it's really frustrating when you don't have access to that. And it does leave a bad taste in your mouth and you are negatively impacted in that regard. So I think this is huge news, because this is one other thing that, some of the negative parts of the community can't kind of just point out and go, this is your issue now, because Xbox has said we've remedied this for Xbox One games in that backwards compatibility option for it. Because, who buys a new console to play old games? Gamers do. And if you don't know that,
Facts.
why the fuck are you
Facts.
running PlayStation, by the way, Jim Ryan?
Yeah. It's always interesting. Have you all noticed all the negative anti-gamer, old and anything that's preservation? It's always something that the ponies came up with. Have you noticed that?
Absolutely.
Every single take like that of where you're not a real gamer if you don't have a PlayStation, or you're not a real this if you can't play, you don't have the money. You got money is a hobby you got to have all the money
To play
support the devs, to support Sony,
Support
get Jim
the
Ryan
devs.
his new yacht.
Premium
Oh my
product
God.
is worth all of this
Oh, I can't
money.
stand it.
It never fails. It's always some negative type of messaging
Every
going
time, bro.
around it. Never fails. But so
Hey.
my thing is, sorry, I was going to say my thing is,
Oh, no, okay.
we should be able to play all of our past games. So this right here is really effective for the Xbox One games. And I don't know if you all remember when we had that outage
This
at
year,
that time. Yeah, and it actually affected me as well. So some of those games I couldn't get to, and I game share. So I don't have this as my home Xbox, for instance. So I'm
You would have been negatively
specifically
impacted.
online.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm online. Period. So it definitely affected me negatively. So this right here is definitely great for me.
Yep.
Well, Elite doesn't buy games, so this never impacts him.
No, I just actually want to back up what Umbra said. Is that the PlayStation fans seem to be, for the people that claim to be the most sort of gaming orientated, they seem to be against anything that's playing old games, playing games that go to sort of like PC or any other platform day one, playing games that are sort of cross-play, anything sort of really just playing games related, they're against, unless it's Sony exclusives, which is sort of counterproductive to what they're sort of promoting.
Yeah.
And it's Sony fanboys. Let's be honest, are just the least gamers in the whole gaming community.
Yeah, they play Twitter. That's a game, right?
It's just
Now,
this
is my favorite topics right here.
because it's not about playing. Oh, you don't. I suppose they are correct. You don't buy a new console to play with games. You buy a new console just to play games. That's it. Full stop. You don't actually buy a new console to play anything other than games.
Well,
you never buy anything to say I'm going to play old stuff on this. You're just going to play games. Yeah.
That's like saying I subscribe to Spotify only for the brand new music. You a damn lie.
That's a good point.
Yep.
That's a good
damn lie.
analogy.
You know how often I listen to Michael Jackson stuff. Get out of here, man.
Or,
you know what?
Guru, R. Kelly.
Right, he was that singer R. Kelly. That shit came out in '92 or something.
Exactly.
And we just talked about two people that are banned from the radio in the UK. So,
I mean,
I don't know if you guys realise that.
Let's be honest. They've been conditioned. This particular toxic part of the community has been conditioned to eat and drink and sleep and just breathe whatever PlayStation tells them. And that means that they've been conditioned to go, if you want to play the games, you have to buy a new console, and if you want to play those old games, you have to keep your old console. And that's not how it works anymore. We're in an environment where your games that you purchased, you should be able to access no matter where you go in that particular ecosystem. And they've found out the hard way that people do want backwards compatibility, and they're implementing it, but they're not doing the best job around it, because, who wants to just access them for the PS3 only via cloud streaming? When you own the discs, they should be able to be put into the system, installed, and at least fake the system into thinking the game is playing on an actual PS3. But I guess the architecture within that, and that's a big thing. Like when backwards compatibility got announced, what was it, 2014, 2015? When was it announced for the Xbox One? There was so many people who came out and said, like, why are you doing this? Oh, that's right, Xbox has no games and all of this stuff. But, like, Xbox did have games. They had games across multiple generations. And if you're a gamer, you would realize that. If you're not a gamer, you're going to gatekeep how people choose to play their games. And you're going to try and make it seem like there's only one place that you should be playing games. And that is the least inclusive part of our community. Gamers like to interact, and that's why Xbox is a place to play multiplayer games for the most part. And that's why I think it's important that COD is going to eventually have its home on Xbox, because the community supports that, the ecosystem, everything that is happening in that space and what Xbox is doing is about creating an environment that is inclusive to any gamer accessing it, removing barriers around price, and just allowing people to have fun and do what we like doing, which is playing games. And then they're not adding all the other crap to it and kind of gatekeeping in that regard. Now, PlayStation has said, like, they realize that, they've kind of gatekept themselves in the sense of they've limited the amount of people who can play the game, so that's why they're moving into PC in that area. But the thing is, because of what they've said, they have a community that doesn't want to do that, and they're happy to be toxic as hell as long as PlayStation is winning in their eyes.
Yep. So
they
true.
have a lot of work to do to change the minds of their gamers. Microsoft doesn't, because we're in two places anyway. They're already in PC. They're already on Xbox. They're already on console.
I would argue though, Panda, they don't want to change the gamers' minds.
They don't. They really don't.
They like them. They embrace that toxicity over there.
Well, maybe they should go join Embrace a group then. Sorry.
Yeah, they embrace. Yeah, But the thing is like PlayStation knows. Like you see, they never interact with them. They know they're toxic too. They're like, nah, we don't want to. Listen, like the whole thing about Microsoft, they put on this nice front too. Of
their
course,
business,
we know it's not.
Yeah.
Absolutely, at the end of the day. But the one thing we can say for sure is that they like interacting with us. At least they come and do so. They'll talk to the lowest unknown of us, but of us at least. But they will not. You won't see that on PlayStation side.
Aaron Greenberg follows me.
Same, exactly.
Yeah, I was like, what the hell? When I noticed, I was like, oh shit, is this real?
Exactly. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like people like Aaron. I'm trying to get Phil. That's I got
Yeah.
that next. I'm trying to get Phil and
Exactly.
Sarah. They on my list. But yeah, that's the thing. Those guys, they don't have to follow us. They don't have to talk with us like that.
Exactly, bro.
But they'll make an effort for us on the Xbox side of things, and that's the thing. They push community much greater and more so on Xbox than anything else that PlayStation does. And I think that even speaks to it on how they handle gaming in general. It's definitely more of a inclusive kind of thing on Xbox versus PlayStation, feeling this kind of elitism kind of thing. And that bleeds into their fan base because they have a very elitist mindset when it comes to gaming. And that's unfortunate. So this whole, like you said, you buy new systems to play games, period, Guru.
Yeah.
Like you said, Panda. You don't buy it just to only play new games. And like Dirt, the great analogy you gave, I don't just go on Spotify just to listen to new music. Who does that?
Right. Nobody. Zero.
I was raised on Jackson. All I listened to in my youth was Jackson.
Michael Jackson is the greatest entertainer of all time.
Yes. Okay,
And let me say something, guys. I love that Infinite brought that up because you know how I am with these PlayStation fanboys, and you guys mentioned, excuse me, you guys mentioned some of their narratives. Like some of the narratives make no sense whatsoever. Like you guys said, when Xbox announced backwards compatibility, they went. The first thing they said, I don't buy new consoles to play old games. Bullshit. Right? Then over these years, all of the dumb stuff they've said. But the one that really just irritates the hell out of me is Xbox Game Pass. Those people will sit over there and say, listen, that's welfare pass. I got money. I buy stuff. I buy my games. And that, you know what? Then I said, is there any other aspect of life where I always use this analogy. Excuse me, where you will refuse to pay a sale price or a great deal and pay the full price. I can't think if you go to Burger King and they have Whopper combos on sale, nobody will say, nah, don't give me that sale price. I want to pay the full price. I want to support Burger King. Nobody does that.
100%.
Yeah.
You go to Best Buy, get a TV that's on sale on Black Friday. You say, no, I don't want to go on sale. I want to go shopping on Black Friday because these sales are too ridiculous. I want to pay the full price. I want to support all of these stores and all of these retail. No, nobody does that. But when it comes, because it's Xbox Game Pass and it's successful. Now let's remember, if Xbox Game Pass wasn't successful, these guys wouldn't give two damns. They wouldn't say nothing about
jealous, Let's be honest. They are envious that PlayStation hasn't done the same thing. Whether they want to admit it or not, it's true.
That's exactly what it is. And Xbox bad, PlayStation good. Yeah, I've seen that. I buy my games.
We were just
welfare pass. I've seen all of that.
Man.
Just look at.
You're absolutely right. Who does that? Who goes and says
69
I'm going to refuse
back.
this great deal?
I'm going to refuse this great deal.
Yeah.
They're like Diddy. Can't stop, won't stop.
Exactly.
You gonna get
this great deal.
You gonna get these sex bots ass. Hold on. Let me block some of them. But yeah, but you're right though.
I hope I didn't bring them over here because they always on my channel.
Just love it. But I mean, sorry. Just look at Deathloop.
God made
Deathloop day and date on the Xbox. We had to wait a year exclusivity, right? And people who bought Deathloop on PlayStation, they bought it day one, and now with the day it releases on Xbox on Game Pass, and you have the choice to buy it and at a discount through Game Pass if you want, or you can just play it with your subscription. It's now coming going into PlayStation Plus. So those gamers can access it. So all the people who chose not to buy the game initially on the PlayStation because it was like an Xbox Studio now are going to have an opportunity, if they're already subscribing to the service, to play this game, and it's going to give that game like extra legs in that space. And it's only better for the gamers at the end of the day. And I think that was the coolest thing, and it was a great business move that they made to do that. But, watching these guys admit that is another story. It's like asking them to eat glass.
Yeah, it's just a common thread. A lot of these guys are brainwashed. Let's just be real. It's what I've come to realize. And nobody can hate something that much. It's irrelevant. It doesn't even make sense. it's nonsensical. The more I thought on it and saw some of their reactions to things, it's like who acts like this? Who as T.K. Kirkland would say, Dirt. Who raised y'all? Like,
Right.
why are you behaving this way? I've never understood that.
Why you
I
hate
have a
money?
PS5. Yeah. Why do you hate your own money? At least,
Exactly, man. It's so stupid. I
makes
just
no
can't
sense.
stand them, bro. I just can't stand them.
We've got-
Nobody does that stuff. Nobody does.
They do.
No,
and
nobody.
They all own a
I've done loads of
PlayStation.
videos. If you guys watch my videos, you'd see I've done loads of videos covering the same stuff. But you don't. None of you support me, and I'm just gonna cry in a corner.
That's because you're a fraud and you don't buy games.
Even Fritanga stole my intro. I hope Fritanga's watching this right now, you bitch. He stole my intro to one of my videos the other day and just put it on one of his videos.
Maybe you just think a like and it was just a stroke of genius. Maybe that's the case. Yeah,
but even though the video he stole is, which I stole it from, a UK radio channel, and he's used the same thing. So he's clearly stole it from me. Jeez.
What's that little thing? Ding!
Yeah. Anyway, so we crashed a bit there. I think it's the bot that's killing us. Actually, I think the bot's fucking up. I think because where the bot was hitting us, apparently we was botting again. So I think this might be the bot that's
No, I
screwing
just
us
think
right
it's
up.
you.
But we're
I
all
really
okay
just
now.
think it's a you problem.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
It's the ponies.
Shouldn't you be texting someone?
No, I can't, or else I wouldn't be here for the podcast. Shouldn't you be cuddling up to a pillow, Elite?
What?
Yeah, I'm going to bring that conversation back.
Another story.
Trash talking.
Anyway, before I want to go into the next topic. Before I go into the next topic, I'm going to jump in. I'm going to squeeze in a super topic. Is everyone prepared for this? I hope everyone's listening. I'm going to do a POS of the midweek. Are you ready?
Go for it.
POS of the midweek. So, Dirt, who's your piece of shit of the midweek? Dirt, can you announce your POS of the midweek?
Well, it's this guy. Hold on, let me pull it up because I just sent it to you, right? Yeah, there's this POS. His name is Muhammad31. He quote tweeted the news about Stalker 2 will not be released until 2024 or 2025, which the Stalker 2 developers came back and said that's not true. But this guy named Muhammad31 had the gif of what's the guy, the actor from Spider-Man laughing, not the like the guys that play the hell. I can't think of the guy's name, but it's a gif of a man laughing.
You're talking about the guy that played as
the boss,
Jonah Jameson.
Yes. He's laughing. So this guy, he's making fun of Stalker 2 possibly not releasing until 2024, 2025. Now, of course, the issue with that, we know why the game is not releasing. It was supposed to release this year. Now we know how it really doesn't have a date for the foreseeable future because they're literally, some of the developers are literally fighting a war over there in Ukraine.
Yep.
But why is that relevant?
So this guy, Muhammad31, is a POS of the midweek, right? The midweek. He should be ashamed of himself. Because listen, man, we talk trash, we have fun with this game and stuff. But at the end of the day, those folks over there are literally fighting a war. They showed proof.
Their lives. Yep.
Right, man. So why make fun of that? So yeah, that guy is a POS for me.
So what's his name?
These guys are clowns.
Muhammad31.
Muhammad31.
You know what's interesting about that, by the way?
Midweek.
You know what's interesting about this POS, by the way? That turned out to be false. The dev came out and said it's still coming in 2023.
Yeah, exactly.
So eat my ass, he said.
That piece of trash. He was a piece of trash, you stupid pony.
Of the midweek.
Man, 2023 is gonna be crazy, bro.
Oh man, it's gonna be horrible. It's gonna be destruction. 2023.
I dare one of those four-legged beasts say Xbox ain't got no games. I dare you. Say it next year anyway.
We know.
Say it again.
We know.
You gotta be like Samuel L. Jackson. Say it again. I dare you. I double dare you.
Feels like back in his chair right now for 2023, just sitting back already knows 2023 set. He knows it's slaughter.
Why are you guys slaughtering this girl on this video here?
Oh, what's that?
Oh, that's me. Why am I? Yeah, sorry.
You're getting shanked to hell like they
What
want
the-
some cigarettes from you in prison or something. What's going on?
That's because they were stuck, like, not
boss.
playing the game. We were just waiting for them. We're like, we're just gonna sit and stab the shit out of them. You know.
Look at all the blood on the walls and everything. You know, what the hell's going on?
How long are you, girl? I'll play with you ever again, girl. Right. What's that? What topic was he on? Were you on the update? No, we're not. Shawn Layden.
Yeah.
Were you topic 4?
Yep, we are. Yep. You can
Shawn
lead us
Layden
off.
has just joined. Shawn Layden has just joined Tencent. Left Sony because they're shit.
He got kicked out. Let's be honest.
Yeah, he's joined Tencent Games as strategy advisor. Now let's remember, I think he left PlayStation because he wanted everything exclusive, didn't he? Wasn't that his goal? And he's very much for exclusivity and stuff. So basically, he was kicked out and replaced with Jim. What's his face? I can't remember his name now.
M. Lion Ryan.
Crying.
That's the
It's
one.
crying
Yeah.
Ryan now.
Crying or lying or it's got so many names.
Tap dancing. He got so many names at this
The
point.
devil has so many names, doesn't he? Isn't that true? So, so he was replaced by the devil, and now he's gone to Tencent. And I don't. This deal's weird because I think he's sort of going back against what he used to believe in when he worked for PlayStation. Oddly enough, though, let's just say that directors will say whatever they're going to say, what they need to say when they're a director for anyone, aren't they? So. I'm gonna read. What have you got to say about this?
He should have stayed out of everything. I don't know. He's got the smugness to him that I'm just like, I kind of just want to punch you in the face, Shawn Layden. I mean, it's probably good for Tencent at the end of the day. Like, what was that? Oh, who was talking about it? I don't know. Was it last week or the week before? Our guest on there, talking about how Shawn Layden basically said something around just he's getting out of PlayStation while it's at the top because Jim Ryan was taking over. And so when we look at that, like, PlayStation was like heavily in the top. They're still technically around console gaming. I mean, I'd say Nintendo has always been the top for me. But you know, maybe it'll have a positive impact. He was pretty smart, and I think PlayStation has made some really bad moves since since Crying Jim Ryan got in there. Let's see, because he's, what is it, strategic advisor or something he's coming in. So he's going to help them with their games there. And sorry, my throat really hates me this morning. I have to keep clearing it. I actually was just a bit like, that's surprising, but also like kudos to Tencent, and also Shawn Layden can go and, you know, die in a hole for all I care. That's what my thoughts are on that matter. I don't have a lot to say on this other than, like, let's see what this brings. Let's see what competition Tencent brings around their side, and see what changes they make as a result of him coming in there. I mean, some of his comments were around, like, as many possible roads ahead, but only a few profound or broadening, inclusive, edifying, inspiring, and or sustainable. And you know how he said, like, Game Pass isn't sustainable. So I feel like he's still kind of poking jabs at Game Pass to some degree when he makes comments. Maybe that's just my, like,
unsustainable and all that nonsense.
Yeah, maybe it's just my Xbox glasses over my eyes just kind of picking up on that as a bit of a fan on that respect. But it still feels like he's still pushing a little bit of that narrative, and maybe trying to keep the gaming industry where it has been in the past rather than where it is going, because technology is improving every freaking day, and gaming is the space, and what we're going to see in gaming is going to be so different in 10 years to what it is now, because technology will have progressed to a point where we might not have the normal stuff that we see today as with the consoles just being like your main thing. It might be cloud has taken off. You might see VR is even better than it was, and it's wireless, so you don't have to deal with, I mean, there is wireless, but like predominantly wireless as a standard. And we might see HoloLens in the future, as well as AR technology coming further into the foray in gaming, and price drops and so on and so forth. But yeah, I don't know. I saw this, I was like, it's interesting, but like, he's always been a twat to me.
Yeah, I just want to jump in. Sorry, before you jump in,
No, go for it.
I just want to say what businesses and companies tend to do. I've been in business a long time. I mean, I'm almost 50 now, and I've been in business since 18, and I've worked for government mainly. So what tends to happen is a lot of these business tend to hold back and keep back companies, especially the ones that are gonna sort of go beyond their capabilities. And I think that's what I'm seeing here with Sony. It's sort of like if you can't compete, then grab their legs by the ankles, and just hold them down until you can compete. And that's what I sort of see Sony, and that's what I see Shawn as one of those people. And we see so many people in business doing that, especially people that that I don't know. I won't say old, but just sort of set in their ways that don't want to advance to another level, and just think no, just keep with me and just try to pull everyone around down them. And it's not good for business, and you need to just move on and evolve with stuff as things happen, especially technology. And I think he's just one of those people that just wants the world to just keep at his level because it's easy. At the end of the day, it's easy if everyone keeps to my level. My job's easy because I know it, and I don't want to make the effort to evolve to other people's levels. Just keep to my level, and it's easy. And I think that's how I see it on a business level. So
That's the thing that I find interesting, though, Guru, because he's like, well, every time I hear that, because we have spaces where I talk with people about this, and they're like, well, Shawn Layden said it's unsustainable. And I'm like, when the hell did he ever have any work into
Exactly.
that? Yeah, you know what I mean, Dirt?
When
I'm
does he
like,
ever
what are
look
you
at
talking
Microsoft's
about?
bottom line?
Yeah,
Exactly.
when has he ever dealt with that model before that he can just
that's what
because his word on something means more than anybody else's? Well, he ran places. Well, okay, but that doesn't mean he did this specific thing. He has no knowledge of that outside of what he heard from other people. He hasn't run it.
100%
So
that.
so
Yeah.
I always thought that was weird to begin with. But this is the thing I'll say. Shawn Layden, to his credit, I mean, he was great for PlayStation.
He was,
So I'm not gonna make it write him off or anything like he's trash. It's not that. But what I do find though is that it's hypocritical
Yep.
because your perception will change immediately once you get that bag. Isn't that funny, guys?
Yep.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh yeah.
because
Oh yeah.
his whole stance was all anti, you know, Xbox as far as all these sustainability things that he's brought up that he mentioned again, of course. And I don't think it's just you, Panda. I picked up on it as well. And they're regardless if their embrace or excuse me, Tencent is working or Tencent, either one of them. But in this case, obviously Tencent. Regardless if they're working with Xbox in a way with the things they have, they're still in competition in a way because I think personally, you don't go after Shawn Layden unless maybe you're trying to get into the business in some kind of way. And I think Tencent is going to try to do a streaming service. That's what I
Oh yeah,
think.
they're gonna use it.
So you think maybe he's seen the light about what this can do around cost and like actually
I
being
think he saw the
sustainable?
money. He saw
Yeah,
the
he'll
money.
do
That's
whatever
what he
he's
saw.
told to do. Yeah,
Yeah, he
he'll
saw
do
the
whatever he's
money.
told to do. Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't see the light. He saw the money, and unless
Yeah.
that was light to him, but other than that, that's what he saw. And
light to
he
me.
might still, yeah, right. I saw the sign, but yeah, I think he saw the bag and it was like, yeah, you know what, this could actually work.
Yeah.
I think that's what it really came down to, but it just seems hypocritical because he said so much anti things when it came to that. And of course the whole acquisition thing. And now where do you go when Tencent is buying up all types of things and or buying up his shares to get into, companies like Epic or Ubisoft? How does that work now? You know what I mean? So yeah, I think it just comes off as hypocritical and doubly so because we know he changed his stance because he got the bag. That's the thing that I took away from it.
Yep. I agree. I me personally, it is what it is. Um, I think they just offer him a bag, like Infinite just said. So okay, like maybe my thoughts can be swayed a little bit. I just felt like he was just more anti evolution, kind of.
Yeah.
He like, bro, this this industry has changed right before our very eyes, and some of the things that he said, this won't work, that won't work, it's working. All the
Mhm.
things he said it's not going to work is working, and guess what? PlayStation is going to do. They're putting their games on PC. They're doing a lot of different things. So, he seems to be like an old school kind of guy, but you can't compare 1996 to 2022. You can't make games the same way. I always say this on my podcast. I ran into a picture of 8 men that made Super Mario World for the SNES. Dope game, right? 8 people made it. And back then, that was considered a AAA.
Wait. Only 8 people made that game?
Super Mario World. Yeah. On the
What?
Super Nintendo, yes.
Only 8 people made that.
8 people made Super Mario World, bro. I can send it to you in the DM.
I'm hearing you say it, and I'm like, what do you mean? You made 8 of the people that worked on it?
No, 8 people made that game, bro. So my point is,
that's crazy.
Game development then to now, yes, you can do that. Then you only have to pay 8 people, and it didn't take 5 years to make those games.
Imagine the profits on that, though.
Yeah,
it's probably pretty nice because I'm sure those games didn't cost 150 million like some of these AAA games do now.
Yeah,
so true.
So this is a different time, and some of the things that Shawn Layden said seemed like he was like, bruh, this is a different time. You got to move on. And if you want to be honest, the PS4 was an extremely successful generation. But what's happening now, right? I still feel the PS4 generation is coming back to bite them in the butt. Why am I saying that? Dirk, why are you saying that? You bot? Why am I saying
all
that?
the narratives
Because
they brought into their
clear.
fan base definitely is starting to bite them in the ass now.
Well, let me explain why I'm telling you the PS4 generation is coming back to bite them in the ass. They had amazing single-player games. That's all they had. Their entire portfolio was single-player games, while the gaming industry was changing before our very eyes. What were the biggest games last generation? GTA Online, Fortnite, Call of Duty.
Yeah.
So what are they trying to do? Like, oh shit, let's play catch up. Let's try to do these live service games. Now they're trying to play catch up, but that hurt. I'm telling you, bro. If you pay close attention, that's why Sony is just making these moves. Like, I mean, yes, they made a lot of money last generation, but Jim Ryan himself said, "Yo, the 10 to 20 million games sold is not enough anymore," and that's probably why they threw Shawn Layden ass out of there, because his vision wasn't working with PlayStation's vision. So him getting a job with Tencent, I think it's cool, man. But it also shows you that Tencent is a real player.
Yeah,
Dr. Gritty, you're wrong.
Well, I'm also of the mindset like they really. I mean, Jim Ryan, yes, he's a businessman, but he's also not a gamer. And you're definitely seeing a difference between having someone at the head who is a businessman and a gamer, in the sense of making smart moves and putting the right people around them, and then listening to their community, like what Phil Spencer's been doing around that. They're a business at the end of the day, so they're making smart moves, but they're doing it in a way that really positively impacts their consumer. And in a way that also other people are looking at it going, hey, that's a really good deal. I've bought this, but I'm so brand loyal I can't actually accept that this is a good deal. And then you've got Jim Ryan just always putting his foot in everything. Like, we believe in generations. Yeah. Cool, when's your generation start? Because we knew that Xbox was going to be like 2 years and PlayStation was like 3 to 4
Matt
years.
Booty said it.
Yeah, we're going to start, like, the floodgates are about to open, absolutely about to open for 2023 for Xbox, and all those narratives about saying Xbox has no games. Do you know what? Go have a look at how many games have released on Game Pass versus how many games have released on PlayStation Plus, and then go eat your own hat. Because there are games. They don't. When is being a gamer having to be about AAA first-party exclusives? You're not a real gamer. That's all you play.
That's all that matters to PlayStation.
I just want to prove Dirk is he wrong? Can I come here? I just want to prove mild or wrong, because you're saying about Sony and their gas games and that. Because yes, they're going to produce a bunch of gas games or support
their community.
Gas games. And that's their future, and they've done that. Is it what? See, this is how you're so. Your Xbots are so uneducated. Don't come up with the times. Babylon Fall, right? It's one of the games. One of the
a gas
games. That was exclusive to PlayStation 5. massive success, is it not?
Yeah.
Which game?
Which way do you want to look at success?
Babylon Fall.
Successfully
Oh,
giving it away
Babylon
for
Fall.
free and
Oh.
successfully failed. Yes, and I feel bad for the
Success.
devs on that one. I do feel bad for the
What?
devs on that
That's
one.
right. It successfully
Oh, you're a
failed.
bot. Now, you're only
That's-
saying because you're a bot. You're only saying because you're a bot. Success.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
You review bombed it.
I mean, it's funny because they're like, we support the devs, and then this happens. But I do feel real bad for the devs on that Babylon 4 game because they would have put so much time and effort in, and all this money was put into it, and the game hasn't been
And it was
successful.
exclusive.
It's like Lawbreakers.
It reminds me of Godfall as well. Remember Godfall? That game that hyped up massively.
Oh,
And
hey,
it died.
are you talking about well, he's talking about Godfather game that was only possible on the PS5 because of this blazing SSD. You talking about that game?
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Oh yeah.
SSD that cures cancer. Yeah, that.
Oh yeah, the SSD that
Then was
yeah.
suddenly possible on PS4. What?
You know,
that SSD, yeah.
No one
It's
said,
so
wait a minute,
interesting.
you told us, did they? No one said, wait, you told us this. They just
It's
they just rolled with it. Yeah, okay.
it's interesting
okay.
in both cases. For one, Platinum Games, it's basically like karma in real life, just
Mhm.
happening to 'em.
Scalebound.
They're a
For
piece
one,
of shit,
Platinum
they're
Games doing what they
yeah.
did, the things that Kamiya has said about people, like he's the man has said some
Karma.
toxic stuff.
Yep,
It's just
absolutely.
karma. And then you look at Godfall, and Randy Pitchford, I believe it was. Am I
Mhm.
correct? He went Gearbox, or yeah, and he talks all this nonsense about Xbox and oh man, well hey, Phil Spencer, blah blah blah. He said so much negative stuff
Yeah,
and
Yep.
how this can only be possible on PlayStation 5 and all that.
they did, yeah.
And then we found
Yep.
out it could be on PS4.
PS4.
Or was going to. Right.
And it
then
came to
Xbox.
Xbox.
Exactly.
And nobody
Mate,
cared.
Exactly.
You mean the
And look
slowest
at it.
SSD
And nobody bought it.
ever on
Yeah,
the
and most
Xbox?
people didn't buy it at least. Right, the slowest SSD in the world. And
Still
so
faster
it's
than a
always
mechanical
funny
hard
to
drive.
me to see that. And you know what's crazy? I think going forward, not crazy, but I think it's interesting is that going forward, it's going to be undeniable. You can't keep just excluding Xbox out. It's not going to work that way anymore.
Not anymore.
This is not the Xbox One generation, and I think a lot of people haven't got that memo yet. And
No.
it's interesting. Yeah,
They
because
haven't.
nowadays,
Yeah.
they haven't gotten it because now they think, well, we can afford to just go to PlayStation. No, you're seeing what happens, and like you said, and you pointed out, most games that succeed like that way they've been succeeding, from the Call of Duties to the Minecrafts to all these service games, are multiplayer focused, and that's Xbox's forte. You cannot leave out Xbox when it comes to this anymore. It just does not work for them, you know.
Right. Right.
So yeah,
That's what I was saying about the. I think Sony paid for exclusivity about 2 years, and I think that's what's destroyed this company now because obviously Babylon Falls is exclusive to Sony for 2 years now, and it's already flopped within a year. It's destroyed. It's dead, and they know now that it's not going to go anywhere else. And they're fucked, and nobody on PlayStation is supporting it. So that's why they basically just closed the game down. If it was free to go everywhere on sort of PC and Xbox and Game Pass now, it probably would have at least seen something. But it's not, and it's just died.
it's possible.
Well, I think-
But you know, the bad thing about live service games is most of them fail. That's the thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they do.
You know,
Most
so
of them do
It's a lot of
fail, yeah.
competition.
yeah. Yeah,
It's a lot of
most of them
competition.
fail. So, but you're right. Having it in more platforms and more
Yes.
places
That live
obviously would do
service
better.
games need to be live everywhere.
Absolutely.
Not charging
Don't exclude
developers
people
to
out.
make it cross-platform is better too.
How many live
That
service
too,
games
exactly, Panda.
are
That's a good
successful and
point.
exclusive?
But just to point out,
yeah,
like Mash, what is it, Misha Misashi in the comment section in the chat said, Lawbreakers. That's another prime example where, and it felt like a backslap a little bit. I'm gonna be honest with you. With what's his name, doing what he did, and what's his name,
Cliffy B.
Cliffy B.
Yeah.
When he did that and brought it only to PlayStation, it was like, really?
They
After
don't play
all we've been
multiplayer
through,
games, dummy.
Yeah.
not only that, but it was like, really, after all that
Right.
we've been through with Gears, that's what you do?
He's trying to get one over, wasn't he, on Xbox?
Yeah, and he paid for it, and then he later on, acknowledged that he was sorry that he did that. He shouldn't have done it. He
Come
said.
back on his knees, yeah.
Yeah, it is what it is. You live and you learn, but the thing is you're not going to get that money back though. So that's the bad part
Nope.
for him, But they're going to have to learn. That's just what it comes down to.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's a fact.
yeah.
I agree. I agree with everything you guys are saying. It's just and what happened with the PS4 gen, just only they're like them having only single player games in their first party first party portfolio. Also, what happens when you rely strictly on third party for your multiplayer experiences? What happens is Microsoft about to buy your biggest third party multiplayer experience. Now you out there crying. See? So that's why I say the PS4 generation, as successful as it was, it's starting to come back and bite them in the ass.
Yeah.
I
think so many things are starting. So many things are starting to bite them in the ass. I mean, I don't think that they can even replicate the success that Nintendo has with attachment to their IPs. They've never been able to do that. Yes, they have amazing games, but there's something about Nintendo and their ability. And the smartest thing, and people kind of gave trash talk the Switch, is like it allowed you to have that normal experience, like connecting it up to your TV, but then you had that portable experience, and they put it all in one, whereas PlayStation had the PS Vita and the PSP, and they still couldn't replicate the success. And then Nintendo even still had the DS and the 3DS, and now that that's gone, it's insane what Nintendo has done by doing their own thing. And PlayStation was doing their own thing, and they are now trying to follow trends. Xbox is doing their own thing. They're separating away from what happened last generation and going, this is where we see the market going. And PlayStation is playing catch up. I would like to see PlayStation really, really, really do something dramatically different to hook their fan base in. And I think they're trying to push that with PSVR, but the technology is just not there at this point. It's not there.
I have no interest in
VR.
VR.
PSVR is going to flop just like the first PSVR.
Well, considering it's not backwards compatible with, you can't play the PS4 VR games on it, I think that is one of the most stupidest things you could do.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they saying it's so outdated. I get it, but like my thing is, the thing is niche already. I have no interest in VR, for instance, personally, like that. It's just not the way I prefer the game.
But they don't look at it and they go, they seem to have this mentality when they look at products and they're like, hey, you know what? We could put some more time and effort and engineering into, allowing more people to play this and take their games with them. But no, we're going to make them. We're just going to screw them over and make it so they have to have both versions of this PlayStation VR. Who wants to connect both versions up?
But the problem is, Panda, is that the PlayStation fan base, they allow for that.
Yeah,
they allow for that. That's the problem. See, and I had this talk. We were in a space again, and we were talking, and we were all like, well, for instance, the $70 thing. I'm like, nope, that's my hard line. Because we know it's not it's that principle. It's like I paid $800 and some odd for this PS5 that I bought just because I wanted to get it immediately. I didn't care, right? I got it from Best Buy, but it was obviously a hiked price, obviously, right? I got my Xbox Series X. I got it for $770 because I wanted it right then and there, and I did not want to wait. That's just how I am.
Okay.
And I got it from my brother on Twitter. You probably know him, J Man. So, and I dealt with him. He shipped it over to me from New York. Got it good. My thing is to say is that you enable what you want. PlayStation gamers will absolutely argue against themselves to give Sony leeway to do what they do. And that's why they keep doing what they do to them, because they say it's okay. We don't do that on Xbox side of things. When it comes to them doing things like that we don't like, we voice our dissent immediately. Like the whole Xbox Live thing when they tried to raise that. We complained. They took it down in 8 hours. They changed it right back. Like, oops, my bad.
I did a video saying it was BS, and I'm a bot.
Yeah.
So but our botism only goes so far.
Yeah.
We cut it off after a certain point. Like, no, wait a minute. Nope.
You try screwing us over.
This is not in my best interest.
We don't care who you are and brand loyalty or anything like that. You screw over us. We're going to tell you about it, and you better fix it, because you at the end of the day, they wouldn't be here without the consumer supporting them.
And that's just the truth of it.
And
that's
I
the
think
truth
they
of
learned
it.
a
And
lot
like
from
we can deal with and we can deal with the fact of you all not having for a bunch of first party games immediately. We can deal with that. Although some people will be like, that's intolerable. We can deal with that when we know you're actually working towards something. Right now, it's undeniable that they're working towards something big. Well, what we will not deal with is if you all trying to get over on this.
I mean, it's like
that's the difference.
It's like the conversation point where PlayStation last generation would show a game and it would be like they'd show it, and then like 5 years later it would come out or something, and then they're like, we know greatness is coming, so we're going to sit there and da-da-da, and it's like, well, you don't have any games releasing, right? And now the same thing is happening, and they're like, you guys have no games. It's like, but we know what's coming. And like, it is gonna be insane, and we won't even have time to deal with you guys on Twitter because we'll be playing games, and I'll have a backlog for my backlog for my backlog with the amount of games that are going to be coming out, and those are only the first party. Like there's still the third party coming.
Right.
Yeah, it's gonna be insane, absolutely insane. And then the best place to play will be the Xbox ecosystem, whether it's on PC Game Pass Ultimate, whether it's on just Game Pass for console. There's like undeniable around the deal you're getting in that ecosystem at the cost, and they've really like they showed 1,000 times, and they showed what their strategic priority is. The consumer is in the middle, and then everything else around that is what they're offering the consumer, and it's about choice, and it's about removing those barriers, and they've showing time and time again. And one of those barriers has been COVID, because like developers get sick, and then they keep getting sick, and then they're not able to produce as much, so games keep getting delayed. And then we've got other things happening in the world which is amazingly not ideal, and I don't know, it's just one feels very much in touch with what the community is saying, and one feels very much in touch with their bank balance.
It's another thing too that I want to add to that. Outside of those things, is that because of the delays, 2023, like Dirt said, is going to be much more insane because of that. And 2024 is going to be much more insane because of it too, because some of those games cannot release because they'll cannibalize each other, right?
Absolutely.
So it's going to be a crazy next year. So we had Dauntless, our brother Dauntless, here in the chat, and he says, what happens when you only focus on subscription services like Xbox does? And that's not true, because they don't only focus on subscription services, but it says you play the waiting game for first party games. See, the problem is with that thought process is we've had to wait for Xbox games. There's no doubt about it, right? There's no denying it. And but that ends soon. So
I cannot.
The reason why we had to play that waiting game is because Microsoft was not backing them before.
Yeah.
So one thing led to another. Yeah. Unfortunately, now for that mindset, and that's typically a pony mindset of, all right, first party games.
Yeah.
That is over with, because you see Satya himself came out the other day and said what he said. They're fully behind them now. The times have changed. This is not Xbox One anymore.
Yeah, absolutely.
So those
can
games,
I respond to this too after you're done?
I definitely want you you'll take on it. Hey, but the cadence of games that's going to come after this Dauntless into the next year is going to be ridiculous. You're not going to have that talking point anymore. The ponies are not going to have that talking point. Next year's that talking point is dead.
Yeah.
But go ahead, Dirt. I'm sorry.
Now is Dauntless a pony or Xbox guy?
We have no idea.
It's hard to say.
The question from the looking at the question, you're a pony in my eyes. Let me tell you something.
At the moment,
let me tell you something, dude.
He plays on Xbox with us. It's really confusing.
I don't give a damn what he play on. That question is a pony question. Let me say this. Infinite Umbra just explained, but I'm going to tell you my version. Xbox was not backing. Microsoft was not backing Xbox. We've seen articles, Phil Spencer himself saying when Satya Nadella got hired, that's the first question he asks. Do we need this Xbox around? Do you guys notice the second half of last generation Xbox really didn't have many games in development besides Halo, Gears, and Forza? Yeah, they didn't have many games in development at all. So Phil Spencer had to make up shit. When people ask him, yo, Phil, when you gonna show games? Show some new games. He would lie and say, "Oh, I don't want to show games too early."
Yeah,
but that was a lie. You know why? They ain't had no damn games in development. What happened in 2020 when they have games in development? They showing shit 5 years out. Fable, Perfect Dark. They showing all these games. So a subscription service is not the reason Xbox is a little slow with games. What happened? They stopped developing games besides Halo, Gears, and Forza for a few years. Then when they started developing these games, COVID happened, slowed it down even more. But like Umbra just said, that shit changes next year.
Thanks.
When it starts next year, it's not going to stop.
Yep.
So a subscription service has nothing to do with it. And I think you know that. You're just being difficult. Thank you.
Yeah, I think he's being difficult too. We've had these talks with Dauntless before. You know, I know I don't think he means ill, but that definitely was a pony question. I gotta agree.
Hey, well, that question,
Can I just claim?
I took it as a pony.
I just want to say that. I just want to say that. Dun, 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 dun,
What is that?
What the? Oh, he's doing John Cena.
Fuck's sake.
John Cena. What the hell?
You should have just played the song up to your microphone and it kept cutting in and out. Every time you went quiet, it's like cut you out.
No, I'm just gonna reiterate what Dirt said. Is that Xbox have already announced games. They've announced their plateau of games
Their
from
roadmap.
2023. Their roadmap from 23 for beyond. So we've got. Let's just go next year alone. Let's just go 2023. There's just 2023. So we've got Forza Motorsport that is confirmed for 2023. Starfield confirmed.
Yep.
2023.
Well,
Redfall confirmed. 2023.
Yep.
That's 3 first-party AAA games confirmed. The first half, 6 months of 2023. What does Sony have?
Well,
None.
You look at waiting for games. You look at waiting for games.
It's not even first party.
Yeah,
let's go second half.
GT7.
Let's go second half.
Horizon Forbidden West, God of War, all 2021 titles. They had to wait till 2022 for that.
That's something all the games
Exactly.
they got in 2020. Yeah, 2022. Delayed 2021 titles. Let's carry on. So 2023, second half of 2023. What has Sony got confirmed? Spider-Man. That's not even confirmed.
That's not confirmed.
That's an estimate.
I don't think that. You know what? I don't think they're going to have any first-party games next year. And you know what?
They're with third party. As they
always
do.
We're going to talk trash. You know why I'm going to talk trash? Because one, I always talk trash, but two, they told us games like Scorn and High on Life don't count because they're not first parties. They said you have no first-party games in 2022. Well, AAA, like of course we got Pentiment, but who's one of them? I'm not talking about that game. So they're not going to have any first-party games next year unless Spider-Man 2 comes out. Guess what? I'm going to throw it right back in their face. No first-party games. For smoking, not first-party.
Let's throw this back at Dorna's face, right? Okay, Dorna's. Name me a first-party PlayStation game that's not been delayed. Oh, shit.
There isn't one. But I'm going to tell you this. Their first-party, I'm going to tell you guys, all of the new studios they recently bought, none of those games are ready.
Nope.
Right? Like you just mentioned, Red, there. Guerrilla Games, they just dropped what's name earlier this year. That boring ass game.
West, which was delayed.
Forbidden West. They dropped that earlier this year. Polyphony dropped GT7 earlier this year. Delayed. Right? We know Naughty Dog is working on that multiplayer game. They said they will show it next year. They didn't say the game is releasing next year.
Yeah, there's no chance.
Right?
Yeah.
So you think about that. Sucker Punch is most likely working on Ghost 2. Okay. Like what else?
I don't know. Are they?
God of War was delayed.
Days Gone didn't get a sequel.
Yeah.
So
Days Gone. I mean, they're working on something. But my point is, they didn't have a showcase this year. People, that state of play wasn't bad, right?
Yeah.
But it was a state of play and not a PlayStation showcase.
That wasn't. Yeah, it's just a generic. Yeah.
The last 2 years, we've had a PlayStation showcase in September. They're not having a PlayStation showcase because they reveal God of War. They reveal, what's the game with the chick? That was Project Eve.
Oh yeah.
That game,
which was also coming on
Blade
Xbox
now, right?
Yeah.
Now, look, the PlayStation know their first party is going to be sparse. So they said, yo, let's get these games and make them exclusive. Because that game Project Eve was confirmed to be a multiplayer.
It was.
Until PlayStation dropped the bag, now they're published. And I don't have a problem with that. That's business.
Cash down, to make it exclusive. Yeah.
That's business. So I don't have a problem with it, but
Yeah, but for them to turn around and go and cry over COD when they're doing the exact same fucking thing, I'm just like, go.
How does it go, Dirt?
Yeah, exactly.
Shit. Of the
Phil
week.
Spencer, Satya Nadella, they being a bully.
Yeah.
Shut up, you damn pony. Stop all your damn crying. I feel like I gotta jump in.
Piece of
Shut
shit.
up, Anthony. Leave me alone.
I'm weak.
Just
man.
quickly,
Midweek.
You're nut.
you're watching episode 71 of the Gamers Initiative podcast with Dirk Griggity and Infinite Umbra, our two amazing guests, and Elite Gaming Guru as per usual, and
Hello.
myself. Thank you all so much for watching. Hit that like button. But yeah, it's a good show, guys. Just loving it today. Thank you.
Should go to the next topic.
Yeah, we should.
Hellblade 2 doesn't have a release date. Hey,
Doesn't matter.
when it dropped, your mouth was all like, oh, damn.
doesn't
Spider-Man
matter
doesn't release date.
that
Nor does
Hellblade 2
Wolverine.
Did y'all hear
doesn't
what
have a
Jeff
release
Grubb
date,
said?
guys.
Nor does The Last of Us 2 multiplayer. Does
Right, he's talking about the Hellblade 2. Spider-Man doesn't even have a release date. Hey, but-
Hellblade 2
Hey, but-
doesn't need a release date. And do you know why? Because when it showed in 2019, when they announced the Series X, everyone basically dropped their jaws.
And
Oh
we
my
saw
God.
more gameplay for that, the
And
Spider-Man 2. Don't forget last year.
And we saw more of it.
Hellblade
Hellblade 2, I think, is going to be absolutely astonishing when it releases.
Yeah.
Fire.
No, remember, it's all cutscenes, no gameplay. Remember, that's what the PlayStation fans are saying.
Hey, Tim Dog
Impossible.
told me. I remember Tim Dog told me, like, people was like, "Oh, it's a cutscene." He said,
Nope.
I don't know if he said Phil Spencer or like somebody at Xbox said, no, they're literally playing the game.
Hellblade.
Like from that Hellblade 2 footage from the Game Awards last year.
Yeah,
He
Ninja
said
Theory
no,
came
they
out
were-
and said it was all gameplay as well, completely
Yeah,
all
Yeah,
in
yeah,
the
yeah,
game.
There was- they were They were literally playing the game.
Right.
They were literally playing the game. So I was like, man, that. Now, I just heard what Jeff Grubb said. Jeff Grubb said the second half. I don't know if you guys heard what he said. I'm sure you did, but he said
yeah.
he think Ninja Theory game like Hellblade 2 is a big possibility next year. If not, it'll be early 2024. But he said that game is a big possibility for the second half of next year.
I think it will be. And
If
if
that
you
happens-
paid attention last year in June 2021,
Mhm.
they said themselves it was moving to full production at that point.
Yeah, they
So,
did. Yeah, absolutely right.
Absolutely. I feel it'll definitely be released.
And that'll be 2 years. Hey, you're right.
Yeah.
That'll be 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
You're
Yep.
full. Hey, you're right, brother. You're
Yeah,
right.
so-
That's good. Your podcast that week will be your crying emoji, wasn't it?
Yeah, Reginald, like his name Reginald, he just gonna host the whole show crying.
Yeah, Ian crying.
This is bullshit.
That's a cutscene. That's the real graphics.
You telling me Xbox? You telling me
Wait
they
for the
have
review
games?
bombing. Wait for the review bombing.
Yeah.
But yes,
That's
next
it. Don't have no game.
next topic, guys. Next topic. As you may have seen, that Embracer Group was rather disappointed by Saints Row. Oh my god, I can't even talk. Saint Row's polarizing reception based on how it was received by the gaming community. And if you have managed to play this, I haven't, but I have listened
I
to
finished
people
it.
I
I finished
respect
it.
very much in our gaming community and what they've had to say on it. Do you think that they're fair to say this, Embracer Group, or do you think it's kind of like they brought this on themselves? What are your thoughts, Elite? We'll start with you this time because I feel like you're always quietly sitting there reading the article beforehand.
I'm not really into Saints Row at all. I'm not really into GTAs at all. I've never really played any of them, so I've paid no attention to them.
So,
But did you say you completed it?
I finished it, yeah.
what
Well,
do you
then I think we should go with you then.
Yeah. It was nothing special. It was like a Saints Row game. Like if you like the previous Saints Row game,
I
you'll like this one.
Yeah.
But it didn't really do anything new. You would think, because there hasn't been a Saints Row game since the 360 generation. They make that flop game, Ages of Mayhem. That was a super flop.
Yeah.
But it was okay. I give it a solid 6.
Is it wrong
and a
to
half.
put Saints Row in the same boat as Crackdown? Because I played Crackdown.
Honestly, the Crackdown 3 campaign was better.
yeah.
Crackdown 3 campaign was actually pretty good. The
You know what I'm
story,
on about?
the story
Crackdown-
is better in Saints Row, but
more or less the same sort of thing, isn't it?
You know what's so
Yes.
sad about that? Crackdown 3 wasn't a terrible game.
It wasn't.
it
I
wasn't.
enjoyed
It didn't
hell
have
out
the
of it.
proper budget and it wasn't properly like I don't know how else to put it,
I
polished.
think the
guess.
multiplayer killed it.
And then the
That
studio
definitely
that
hurt
was
it,
doing
too.
the technology they were
Sumo.
using for the cloud infrastructure in that game got bought up by someone else, so they had to come in
Yep,
Epic.
and that hurt them.
create a
Yeah,
new
they got bought by Epic.
implement it, and so it was definitely delayed. Yeah.
And that hurt the game. Hey, but let me say this one quick thing about Saints Row before we continue. Unfortunately, I do believe this Saints Row is a franchise killer. I don't think they're gonna do another Saints Row, and I hope Volition makes it because this game. I mean, you could tell they put a little money in the game.
Yeah.
And it seemed like it just totally flopped. So I think this could potentially be a franchise killing game. I hope not, because I like the
Saints Row.
franchise a little bit, but it seems like it, bro.
I hope not. Yeah, I'm with you on that. My favorite still is part 2. I think that was they had it
2 was fire.
right there. Yeah, I think they had it right.
I liked it more serious. They was a little bit more serious, but then it got silly, man.
100% agreed. I thought it got ridiculous, especially part 4. I think got
Part 4 was like it was like Crackdown. Like you was flying around the city.
Was.
It was. I was like, come on.
But
man,
you know what's interesting though? That was you mentioned that. Why not get Volition to make Crackdown? They would actually do a great Crackdown.
That'd be fun. Yeah, that would. That'd be fun. Yeah. I agree.
think they just went the wrong direction with Saints Row. I think it should have, like the comedy part, keep some of that, but don't go over the top.
Throwing dildos at people and stuff like that. Like, come on, bro.
Like,
what is this?
Come on.
I think they were trying. They knew they couldn't compete with Grand Theft Auto, so they tried to go totally the opposite direction, but still an open world game, crime game. But I don't know, bro. I just part 1 and part 2 was fire though.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, Red Dead.
I think we've taken over.
You have. Sorry, I was
darknesses, brother. Darknesses.
I was drinking a glass of water. Okay, all right. When I talk
you my
too
cousin
much,
now, Dirk. We do kind of favor. I ain't gonna lie.
I saw that picture.
I love it. I love
like
it.
a younger version of me.
I love it.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I heard about the buggy mess it was, and so did you run into that, Griggity? Did you run into that?
It was definitely buggy. It wasn't as bad as it seemed online. Yeah, but it was buggy, but it was definitely playable. Like I had fun with it. Don't get me wrong, I had fun with it. That's why I would honestly give it like it's maybe a 6.5, 7.
So do you think it's
the story
fair that they are saying that they're kind of upset with the reception Saint Rose received based on the final product that was actually released to market to the consumer?
Yeah, I think that, and the review scores were abysmal. And it just didn't sell well. So I think a combination of those 3 things, and the CEO was like, "This is some BS. Not happy with this."
Fair enough.
So I think it is what it is.
I think they needed to really look at the scope of the game and really decide. They could. I mean, technology's improving. They really could have made it a Saints Row game, but then kind of blown it out of proportion. I mean, Saints Row's games are already blown out of proportion, essentially, and they're usually
there's some talent
mindless
there. There's
fun.
some talent there.
Yeah, there is talent there.
It is fun.
Like they could have done more because I've watched gameplay of it and such. So I definitely understand what they were going for the game, but I just feel like we're in an environment where there are so many games releasing and people trying to vie for your attention that maybe you just need to give it that little bit of an edge and just go, this is why you come and play Saints Row, because we innovate this. Yeah, and I just feel like they didn't do that for this title. But, because it's been polarizing, maybe it might come to Game Pass.
That's a big time possibility there, let me tell you.
Yeah.
But like I said, I think the studio Volition, there's some talent there.
Yeah, they are.
There's some talent there. They just gotta, update their graphics engine.
Yeah,
get a little more focused, get a little more serious. Because I remember when Saints Row came out, it was the Xbox 360 exclusive. It was, this is fire.
Yeah.
It's fire.
Yeah.
They just got to go back to things. And that whole, they were defiant too, because people were like, nah, we're not feeling this whole yuppie situation you got going with they going to Starbucks after this. Like that, people talked about that. And I think sometimes people hurt themselves trying to do this. I don't want to call it woke. I'm tired of that saying for this, but
right.
Trying to modernize it in a way to appease the certain crowds, I think is the wrong way to go. I think they already had their that certain crowd that was for them. Kind of stick to that a little bit. Just kind of develop around that notion. Don't, because it's Saints Row, you're gangsters. How does it look for us to be having college students running out there trying to do this and that? You know what I mean?
I mean,
And then to have
Facts.
issues on top of that with the game, like
Yeah.
glitches and things, doesn't help.
I mean,
So
it's a
Yeah.
video game, and video games, yes, they will have constraints around what you can and can't do with them, but you have a vision, and you can basically do whatever you want in a video game if you wanted, because you can't do any of the stuff like in real life, basically. And so we go into those games to experience things that we can't necessarily do in real life and just have fun with it. It's like reading a book or watching a TV series that's interactive and it's coming to life for you. And I feel like sometimes that is lost, and gamers definitely go in for that experience. And if it doesn't quite live up to what their expectation is, you're gonna see this sort of thing happen. And Saints Row had an expectation of what it should have been like, and it just didn't quite live up to that or iterate enough to evolve it to that next Saints Row level that it could have been. Yeah.
Yep.
I agree. Just want to give a shout out to my boys, Riskin and Jedi. I see you guys up there.
Yeah, Risket's in the chat. Jedi Knight Peter's in the chat. So Pete, Halo maybe later where Umber and I destroy you. Yeah, it's per usual.
Both casuals. Anyway.
And I didn't say this, but shout out to C-Roll40 in the chat, my sister. She's busy watching us at the moment, so I really appreciate your support.
Your sister?
Yeah,
so
maybe.
nice.
Just a tad. The
soccer
better
camp,
twin,
okay.
right? Elite, the better twin.
Yeah, she's the better twin.
Yeah.
She's much nicer than you. Yeah.
Risket goes, I can definitely rob a bank in real life. What do you mean, Panda? Good, because I'm not going to visit you in jail. Yeah.
I would.
You would visit him in jail?
I would. Yeah.
I would only visit to laugh at him.
Yeah.
Like, see what
Yeah,
you did.
exactly. I'd mock him.
You'll learn now, aren't you? I'll be like, don't drop the soap in there now.
Oh.
Oh my god.
It's only benefit to the prison, isn't it?
Oh yeah, Riskin will love it then. He'll love it.
All right.
That's another story.
Well,
Let me stop.
did anyone see the small companies CEO from Microsoft, Satya Nadella's comment on the Activision or ABK deal and about bringing competition back to the industry? Did anyone see that? It was just this tiny
That was so little news.
the
Yeah.
smallest
yeah,
amount
yeah.
of news.
My boy talked about it. Like my wife had mentioned it to me also. Yeah, but I didn't.
You haven't, because I loved what he said. He's like, Microsoft is either the number 4 or number 5 competitor in the video game industry. So, like, depending on how you count,
Right.
and the number 1 player is the Sony guys. They've made several recent acquisitions. So this is about competition. Let us have competition. And I agree 100%. Like, PlayStation has been doing this sort of stuff the whole time they've been around. Look at Sega. And now that Microsoft is backing, like you were talking about earlier, they're backing them, and now they're able to provide that competition. And Sony, you wanted competition. Your fans wanted competition, and now you're getting competition to the point where you can't handle it. I thought his comment was so brilliant. Who wants to lead off on that? Anyone can jump in. I'm happy because it's going to be a great topic.
I said this in one of my recent videos actually about exactly basically that Sony already had the lead. They've already got a generation lead on Xbox anyway. So I think his point is that, like, I think it's to the CMA that we're not the ones leading. We're not the monopoly. Sony already has a monopoly. They're the market leaders. They promote themselves as the market leaders. They are the industry pushers, and their fans do the same. And they already dominate most of the gaming industry with exclusives, with games, content, and everything. So I think his point is just to sort of direct, say, sort of just wake him up and say, so wait a minute, what are we looking at here? Because the finger seems to be pointing at Xbox here, and now he's the CEO that's now set up. Because before it was just Phil and Jim sort of going at each other, but now he's set up above them and gone, wait a minute, what's going on here? Because the reality is this. And he sort of just basically said what we're all thinking and what we're all saying. That's what I'm seeing it as. And, he is a level above Jim and Phil. And you won't see anyone from Sony side step up and say this.
Well, it's no longer about console wars anymore. It's about
No,
the
it's not
fact
about console wars.
it's about two
He's talking
companies
Yeah.
now using
Competing for market
their
share.
business know-how to try and compete in a very competitive industry because of the amount of money on the table, because gaming is huge, absolutely huge.
Yeah. It's taken over from movies, even though we'll probably go into later about Ishido's comments about, is it Ishido, isn't it, about comments on movies, because that's what he references. But anyway, this is gaming's now the biggest industry in the world above movies and music. It's taken over. So, and he's stepped up there and gone, what are we talking about here? What's this conversation about? He almost still sort of feels frustrated he has to get involved in this, because it's almost common knowledge. But he's like, what's the argument here? You know what I mean? He's like, he's like there's the old grandfather here that sort of like rested and sort of all power, and he's sort of just sitting there and he's sort of just relaxing that, and there's just sort of some bickering going on below him, and he's sort of just, oh fucking, I have to get out of my chair now. What's going on here? Oh, they're saying like they want power, and he's going, well, you both want the same amount of power. You're both battling for an equal share.
I mean, you think about it, that quote from which Superman versus Batman, whatever, and Batman, not Superman, is it Justice League, whatever? He's like,
the Martha thing.
You bought the house. How did you buy the house back from the bank? And then Bruce Wayne's like, I bought the bank, and that's exactly. That's that mentality.
Yep.
Like,
the end of the day, it's all competition. Yeah. Yep. And that's what I get to. It's sort of you're fighting for market share, and at the end of the day, it's sort of, okay, so what's the argument here? Who's got the most money? And someone's going to put their hand up, and then you're the winner, and he's going to sit back down again. There we go. What's the argument here? Because that's how the world runs. I'm sorry, everyone. That's how the world runs. Your country right now is run on money. It's not run on goodwill and good people. It's run on money. I don't care what you think about your president. I don't care what you care about anyone else. It's run on money, and that dictates everything in life. And at the end of the day, Microsoft has the bigger pocket. Whether we like it or not, they have the bigger pocket. So they're going to win. And if you can say, oh, that's not fair, or that's changing the rules, there is no rules. There's no rules in business at the end of the day. Because it was, especially if it's just go back 10 years, when Xbox were quite happy to sit on their morals and go, yeah, we only want to sort of pursue this, and just, we only want to push this far. And Sony were like, and their fans were like, nah, yeah, you've just been lazy. Why don't you spend your money? Why don't you make the effort? Spend this, do that. Microsoft were like, for years, were like, weren't they? No, we're all right, we're good where we are. No, we're all right. No, make the effort. No, we're all right. Make the effort. No, we're good, we're fine where we are, thanks. Just make the effort, spend some money. Oh, okay, we'll spend some cash. No, you spent too much money. Stop, hold back. No, hold back. You've got to compete on our level. And no, that's not happening. That doesn't happen in competition. No one in competition says, no, you've got to compete, but on equal level. That's not what happens in competition. And I'm sorry, my cat's now having a go at me now.
Yeah.
Pony. Can you hear my pony cat?
Yeah, your cat's a pony.
Let me pass on to Dirt. Go, Dirt.
Yeah. Look at yourselves, PlayStation. Y'all the woke a sleeping giant. Let me stop. Okay, first off, let me say this. You're right, it is competition. Satya Nadella. Listen, this isn't me or Infinite Umbra or Red Dead Panda or EliteGamingGuru saying y'all want competition. This is the CEO of Microsoft, one of the richest companies in the world. This isn't the guy that's cleaning out the microwaves at Microsoft. This is the CEO. He is letting you guys know that they are not playing no games. Do you understand? Do you see the swag, the confidence? He is, this deal is going to get approved. They know he said, I'm very confident this deal is going to get approved. Yep. Last week or so, when Phil Spencer was doing an interview with those folks and they was being all nice about PlayStation. What about PlayStation? Phil Spencer body language just showed me that he's confident that this deal is going to be approved. The PlayStation knows the deal is going to be approved. That's why they're crying. So for Satya Nadella to say that, that's why Sony stock went down. That's why people have been talking about this the last couple of days, because this is a huge deal. Like I just said, this isn't us saying that. This is him, Satya Nadella. And PlayStation is in trouble. I don't know if you guys, you watch my podcast, but I found this old clip from Mooch back when he was on the Xbox side. He said, somebody woke a sleeping giant. He said that back in 2017, so he was a couple years early. But he said it back in 2017, but I kept it. I kept that clip for a while. I pulled it out. Pause. I don't want to say I pulled nothing out in front of a young lady. But you guys catch my drift.
Yeah. You're all good. You had that archived and you grabbed it out, and then I got you.
I grabbed it, right?
Yeah, you're good.
So then I've been using it, and now I'm starting to see people on social media say it, making fun of Moose, because he flipped to the other side, the PlayStation side. But bro, this is a giant. There was some other guy said some things over the years. Be the behemoth you are, Xbox. This is Xbox. You're Microsoft. When PlayStation was beating the hell out of Xbox One last generation, people used to say, Xbox, are you guys going to compete? Damn, at least put up a fight. Fight back. You're Microsoft, one of the richest companies in the world.
Now Xbox
now some of those, right, now some of those same guys, it's not fair. It's not fair. They have more money than us. Oh, it's not fair. Life ain't fair. Get over it. Right. And they have woke a sleeping giant flat out. And I love it. I always cry about last generation. Elite, were you around last generation? Because I do remember seeing your name.
Yeah, Xbox One, yes, it was, yeah.
Okay, I do remember seeing your name. I know Umbra is like fairly new to the community, but
I was around, but I wasn't involved with the community until this gen.
I'm new only in the sense of podcasting.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But you was around listening. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Both Umbra and I are the same.
Okay, cool. So you guys, if you guys were around last generation, you remember how Xbox got a beating last generation.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And to see what's going on now, I absolutely love it. The CEO is talking shit. I love it.
Yeah.
He's actually just telling it how it is. He's just going, this is reality, and their community is like crying, and Jim Ryan said.
But it was gangster the way he said it. Say,
it was. You know what was more gangster? You know what was more gangster about
the smirk?
The smirk at the end. He's like, if this is about competition, then let us compete.
Yeah, let us compete. Come on, bring it on, suckers.
Yeah, he just smiled.
I've got a video coming up.
It's my kind of.
Before you go though, let me say this one quick thing before you go, bro. I think Xbox is really just putting themselves in a great position for the future.
100%.
Just say, for example, I always say, for example, say Amazon got a little more serious in the console space. Say Apple wanted to get into the console space, or whoever. Right. Xbox is putting themselves in a position where some of the biggest multiplayer and multi-platform games is going to be under Xbox. Call of Duty, Minecraft. How you say what?
I said all the indies that are going to come through Game Pass as well.
Yeah. But I'm just talking about just the stuff that they're going to own.
Yeah.
They're putting themselves in a great position. Say Apple comes into the gaming space and the PlayStation 6 comes out and Apple has a console. Xbox can say, yo, y'all are not getting Call of Duty.
True.
You know what I'm saying? So they're putting themselves in a great position for the future, owning these studios. And they're not done yet either.
Now, the only negative I would see for that is, not negative, but the combative part, at least competition-wise, is Sony, at least Apple would have more than enough to compete with Microsoft when it comes to at least acquiring new studios. So
yeah, but if Xbox is going to have the biggest ones already, except for 2K. You know what I'm saying? That's what I was saying. Yeah,
you're right. 2K. They have to nab that one on up if Apple enters in. But the thing, like you said, it comes down to this, and this is what we were talking about earlier with when we saw Dauntless's comment. Microsoft is fully behind them now, so you're even seeing Satya jumping into the fray, and he's smirking, and you know that was not how they say kill him with kindness. That's what that was. That's the kill him with kindness smile. Like, hey, we just want to compete. That's all. He Yeah, man, that man isn't worried at all. I'm sure he has plenty of contacts in all of these different agencies who they've talked to, and they're like, "Oh, don't worry about it. We're gonna look into it, but you're good." Uh, Listen, as much as we might complain about, these people like the CMA or whatever, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how long they try to delay it. They don't really
Exactly.
have a case to stop Microsoft here. They really don't. And Microsoft has more than enough money to sue them into oblivion to get that, until they actually let it go. It's just not going to be stopped. So at the end of the day, and Sony has no case. We all know that. They have no argument
Nope.
here. The only
None,
thing
none
PlayStation guys
whatsoever.
can
Yeah.
none. The only thing PlayStation guys can say, well, they're just buying certain studios, blah blah blah. They're not buying a whole publisher. So what? Cry. That's their
Cry.
that's a Sony problem. That has nothing to do with Microsoft.
TTS.
Yeah,
TTS, Umbra.
that has
Talk that.
nothing to do with Microsoft. If Sony could do it, they would do it too. And you
Right.
all wouldn't be saying a word. You would be in full support and championing Sony as being the best. That's the thing that bothers me about these things. People are not genuine. They just say anything because it's their
Mhm.
platform of choice. You know what I
Right.
mean?
It's how they sleep
And
at
we'll
night.
be real about it. Yeah, well, I'm sure with some type of pony helmet or something mounted on their head. But the thing,
Just
but
tinfoil.
it's just
Them and
funny.
their conspiracy
Tinfoil,
theories.
that too. But it's just tinfoil lined bed sheets and all that while they have like a pony, I don't know, onesie on or something. But yeah, the thing is, no, these dudes are caricatures, man. They're not even characters; they're caricatures. And like I said, if it was the other way, if it was in reverse, these guys would not be saying what they're saying. So I don't take them serious when they say all this. I literally laugh at them and mock them. And if I engage at all, sometimes I just go past them, like, you know what? I'm not even saying anything
Well, it's
to you. You're not worth it.
beneath us at this point
Yeah,
because they're just
at
talking
this point,
crap.
they are, and you know that they don't mean what they're saying. They're just saying it because it's Microsoft, it's Xbox. But at the end of the day, Satya coming out to say what he said is more like that big brother stepping up. Once you have to give back up to Phil right here, in a sense, and he's like, hey, listen, this is fair all around. If you're talking about, we're in fourth or fifth place, as he put it, right?
Yep.
Depending on
Mhm.
how you look at the market. So why is this a bad thing for us to acquire ABK? And he's right. They have no
Right.
sound argument against it. You can't claim it's a monopoly because it's not.
It's clearly not.
Considering
Yeah,
Embracer Group has like 40% of the market.
Yeah,
seriously.
absolutely. Yeah.
There's no argument against this that actually really works. The
Yeah.
only thing that it works against is people's emotions, and that brings back old Reginald crying. That's about it.
It's funny they cry about things like losing COD and stuff like that, but don't cry about losing Doom and stuff like that. Though oh no, you're taking games off us.
Diablo.
They're also taking Call of Duty off you and Diablo and stuff like that.
They're not
They've
real
not mentioned
gamers.
those games.
As we can
Yeah,
tell.
they've only mentioned COD because COD is the biggest game that affects them. That's why. So they're not actually. They don't actually care about losing exclusives. They only care about losing COD.
I mean,
That specific game because they know that's the game that drives them.
let's be honest though, like if this ABK deal hadn't happened, they would still be talking about the Bethesda deal. As far as they're concerned, COD is the be all end all, and now they don't even care about the Bethesda deal. I mean, they will when the games start coming, but like at the moment, it's like Bethesda who, and it's just interesting around that. But they kind of put themselves into that situation themselves by talking so much trash that now we can just pull them apart at every opportunity because, they weren't living in reality in the first place. You want competition and you don't want competition like this. They're not competing the way that you think that they should compete. Who cares how you think they should compete? You're not a business.
Yeah.
You don't have shares in that company.
Exactly.
They're doing what they need to do to stay relevant in the market and compete in a way that keeps them financially viable so they can keep offering everything that they've been offering to their consumers and entice other people to move into that ecosystem as well. It's a business at the end of the day. I don't have shares in it. I'm just like looking at the fact that there's one company clearly doing better than the other around enticing consumers to choose their products. And I'm all about fairness and so on and so forth. And 100% agree that PlayStation, with what they did last generation, really, really, really put Xbox on the back foot, and they had to really come back and look at it. And with Satya Nadella's conversation around, do we even need to be in the gaming industry anymore? And then Phil Spencer coming back to him, what was it? He said something like 10 days later or something. He came back to me, really thought about it, brought all this in, and then they made that plan to go, yes, we're going to double down, we're going to do this. And now they were playing the long game, and people were like, Sony's playing the long game and blah 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 blah. It's like, no, I think Sony's been outplayed in this regard because they're not as big a company. They don't have all of the stuff that Microsoft has at their hand around the PC infrastructure, the cloud infrastructure, Azure, like that deal with Azure that PlayStation has now partnered with, and so on and so forth. So it's just really interesting that the consumers or their fan base is trying to think that this is going to change anything, compete in the right way. You don't understand what competition is, because if you did, you'd shut up and realize this is what competition is. And you really didn't want.
They don't want competition.
They don't want competition. They want PlayStation to stay squarely in front. PlayStation has been competing like this for generations. Look what they did to Sega.
They killed Sega.
It's only okay when PlayStation does it, and that's the problem. Is you are that brand loyal. It's only okay when PlayStation does it.
And as far as Sony goes, even to them, even outside of their fan base, they feel the same. Sony doesn't want to compete.
No.
Sony wants to dominate. They don't like that Microsoft is behind Xbox now. They don't like that.
They want Xbox One again. That's what they want. The Xbox One again. They want.
Yeah, they got content. They were happy. Like, oh yeah, let me destroy them.
They got cocky.
Xbox who?
Yeah.
Xbox who?
You know what they used to say last jam? You know, my boy Sean brought this up earlier because I forgot. The opponents used to say, I want Xbox to do better. I'm rooting for Xbox. I want them to compete.
Yeah,
exactly. There you go. I want them to do better. So I was like, what? Y'all don't want them to do better?
You don't.
I had a guy I know
Elite
know. I know who Elite know what I'm talking about. The guy said, look, my nigga.
Yeah.
This what happens. He was
so
like, Xbox buying studios is not competition.
Yeah.
He made a certain impromptu visit on this podcast last week.
Oh, good. Whatever come again.
Yeah.
It's random, wasn't it? It's weird.
Yeah.
Just popped in with Tim Dog.
Yeah, I remember it. I was in the audience. I'm like, what is this? I'm like, how did he get on the show?
Yeah, shit, the fuck.
Yeah.
I blame Elite.
I had my finger over a kick, but before I let him have his say, he was like,
yeah, just came to say that, I had my dog, Tim Dog. Tim Dog like, hey, man,
Why you here?
I don't rock out with. Hey, I've been there. I try to be cool with some of them dudes. Been there, done that. No, thank you.
Yeah, I remember you telling me about that.
Yeah,
right.
I
try to be cool with all of them.
I've got more than 2 brain cells, and I know how to use them. So I'm living in the facts, and I feel like if Xbox was doing anything the way that PlayStation was doing it, we'd be calling them out 100% for all the stupid stuff that they've been doing.
Well,
raising the price of the console.
That's
media
so
be hating
fucking
on them right now.
bullshit, actually. To just to go, hey, we know you're struggling financially. We're going to make you struggle more. That's how out of touch that statement was.
Yeah, and the thing is that their fan base eats it up. That's the saddest part.
As I say, it reminds me of Fist and All Star. I don't know how in touch you are with Fist and All Star. The whole thing with Della is the bit where you get the Fist and All Star goes up to what's his name? Is it Ren, isn't it? And he's on his horse, and he says, "Come down from your horse and fight me." And he says to the Fist, "I see no point of getting down from my horse and fighting you because I'm sort of already in a superior position." It's almost like that. I thought. Have you guys? Do you remember that quote? I'm trying to find it, and I can put it into the next video.
The only thing I know from Fist of the North Star is "Omae wa moi shindiru."
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
You're already dead. What is it? You're already dead.
Yeah,
right? That's what it translates to.
That's what he does. Yeah, when he does all the punches on him, and he just explodes in the background.
You all like my Japanese right away. I think.
Hey, man, that's pretty good, man.
Good. I wouldn't have been able to do that. So there you go.
And that's another one. I'll
speak some Māori to you, but I won't be able to speak any Japanese.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta get on my. I gotta get on my voice. I gotta get on my voice acting thing. Yeah, I'm gonna work on that.
I can't do nothing but Deathloop guy. That's the only thing I can do.
I used to be able to do Marvin the Martian, and that was about it. That was my ability, Marvin the Martian, and that was
Who am you, sucker?
Yeah. Well, who am you, bitch?
Did you guys see?
Jab turkey.
Hey, don't be a jive turkey, Elite. Watch out, sucker.
Shimon.
Hey, sucker, sing some Robert Kelly again.
Shimon, motherfucker.
Did you guys see? I don't know. I'm so bad at pronouncing names, but Sony's head of PlayStation Indies, he kind of said like about that it's a good thing that they're not putting games day and date on PS Plus. That it's about protecting the life cycle of the
Yoshida said that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yoshida said it. Yeah. And I just kind of giggled at that because I really
PlayStation guys love it.
I don't
They're
think
like,
they
yeah.
really understand. I think it's a really dumb move to
It
not
is.
give the choice to your consumers. You've basically rebranded your whole online streaming service, and now you're going to say we're not really going to give you a lot of incentive to subscribe. So we're going to go make you pay $70, and then maybe 6 months later we'll put the game on there. Do you know how many people are going to wait if they know it's going to come to the online service? There'll be people who won't wait, but there'll be a lot of people who go, I've got heaps in my backlog. I'll just wait till it comes there and then I'll play it. I'm not going to spend $70 on a game that I... So I think they still are so out of touch with reality around what is actually happening. I understand that they're trying to kind of have this hybrid way of still having that standard, like you buy this game day one and the devs get that, and then you also have this option to be in a subscription. But in reality, we can see, and they're trying to say it's like hurting the gaming industry and like hurting the quality of the games and so on and so forth. Netflix. Is that hurting Netflix? No. if they're having their IPs, their products released day one to that. No, and if anything, it's giving you an incentive to stay subscribed to that service and go and watch those day and date. And that's the same thing. It's giving people incentive to go and subscribe to Game Pass by releasing the games day one. And this is just not giving me any incentive to go, all right, I would like to subscribe to this service. What are you guys' thoughts on his statement?
It's stupid. It's
I
the
think
same
you said
thing.
everything right.
Yeah, he
said
basically
everything in line
is,
of PlayStation PR.
Yeah, he said everything in line with them. That's the thing. It's stupid because at this point, if you're that foolish to go after what he just said and be like, yeah, I agree with him, then as a consumer, you are brainless, because there's no way in the world I will be paying for that service and not getting games day and date. It's just not going to happen. And if you look at it competitively, you look at what Microsoft offers, and then you have to look at them. You have to know that you're being, they're getting over on you. So to me, it comes down to just the value of things. But yeah, he, in the sense that it's in line with PlayStation's what they've always said and how they move. Yeah, he said the right thing exactly. And again, these guys are going to eat it up and be like, "Yep, he's right.
He's
Just
right.
Yeah,
Game Pass bad for the community."
exactly.
I love his comment where he says like, what did he say? He says, we believe in the premium release of a title at launch. The premium, and they keep passing that premium onto the consumer. You're not premium anymore. You're not the PS4 generation anymore. You need to grow with the times.
Yeah.
Dirt, what do
And
you
I think
say?
that's part. I think that's part of the issue, though. They don't want to grow with the times, and that's part of why they're being left behind with the whole subscription thing. Microsoft saw that, and they saw that, hey, we have to move differently.
Years ago. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Saw years
And
ago.
they built foundations for it. Now people are salty because Sony can't do what Microsoft does. Well, they could have done it. They had a streaming service at a point, if people don't remember,
Yeah.
but they went away from that. They didn't think that was the future, but Microsoft saw it and saw it correctly and got on it at the right time. It's just
Well, it didn't work. They had number old games in there.
true.
Nobody's going to subscribe. I'm sorry.
I was going to say they actually admitted to it. Remember, I think there was something said that he said it himself. It would take years to compete with Game Pass. They're sort of ahead of the curve, and to get to that level, it would take several years. Did you not say that?
Yeah.
I think you said it. Yeah. So
Jim Ryan said that.
Jim Ryan said that. They already recognised that Game Pass is ahead of the curve, and for them to compete with it, that they would need to create a competitor, but it's already behind the curve, so they need to, they're already lost. So that's what that's why they're crying about Call of Duty, for example. It's because they can't compete better, stuff like that. They're behind. But why is that a fault of Xboxes? Why is that a fault of Xbox that they're ahead of the curve and not Sony's?
Yeah, and let me say this: it's it's not Xbox fault because Xbox did the right thing. Like Anthony just said years ago, this was their vision years ago. So at the end of the day, what Yoshida is saying, I think what he said was kind of disrespectful to. Well, you would think it would be disrespectful to PlayStation fanboys, but of course it's not going to be. They're going to love it. They're going to say, "Yeah, that's right, Yoshida. No subscription services." But what they're saying, man, there's no service that I can think of with nothing but old content that's really killing it. If you look at some of the stuff, I don't know if you like Tubi, right? You know that, like Tubi. Ever heard of Tubi?
Nope.
Yeah,
No?
I remember Tubi. Yeah.
Nobody cares about Tubi. They ain't got nothing but old stuff.
Yep.
Nothing new, right? I remember there was this gaming service. I mentioned this earlier on the podcast I did earlier called Game Tap. I don't know if you guys remember. It was in like the mid 2000s.
I don't remember.
It was this game service that you can play old games. It died fairly quickly because they didn't have anything new. So why did PS Now fail? Like you mentioned, PS Now, the streaming service. They had nothing but old stuff on there.
Yep.
Netflix has their original content, brand new stuff. Paramount Plus, Disney Plus. Disney Plus wasn't really popping like that until they got their original stuff. Netflix was actually dog shit until they got their original content.
Yeah.
That's just the facts. Xbox Game Pass is in a position, like Jim Ryan already said, they can't compete. It's going to take years to compete. So Yoshida sitting here said it's for old games. He just told y'all PlayStation Plus Premium is for old games. Enjoy.
Yep.
That's what he's saying. So why would anybody subscribe to that BS? Technically I'm subscribed to it, but I haven't played some of the older games. Like I didn't play Returnal, didn't play Spider-Man, Miles Morales, and stuff like that. So it's terrible.
It's not. It's like it's the shiny new thing. It's the same as the old thing though. It's just a refurbished. What is it? It's just PSN Plus. It's just the shinier look to what it always was. They haven't done anything new.
I mean,
when it comes to that, and I couldn't myself go and subscribe to something I know is not giving me real value.
Well, Game Pass itself, if they hadn't had all those acquisitions, no one would be subscribing to Game Pass because the only thing that they'd be putting on there, they'd have to do third-party deals to the ends of the earth, like PlayStation has done, and that's how they'd be competing. But they knew they couldn't compete that way. It wouldn't be sustainable for them in the long run. So they went and bought studios. And those studios, part of that model and what they're trying to do to be sustainable and successful is put all those games day and date into the subscription service. And then they bought more studios, and they bought 2 publishers as a result, one being finalized. But like, they know what is needed in that subscription model in order to keep people subscribed. It's why Netflix has the original content. It's why you're saying Paramount Plus and even like Amazon Prime has their content, and Disney Plus has their content. Because in order to keep people subscribing monthly and coming back monthly, you have to give them a reason. And your PlayStation Plus isn't going to be giving people a reason until 6 months down the line, maybe, when the game's already out.
Exactly.
And if it's third party, it's probably already released on Game Pass anyway.
Hey, like Red, just imagine if you're launching a movie service. You're like, hey, we have Back to the Future 1, 2, 3. Man, I saw that shit. Get out of here. You know what I'm saying?
Probably already own it on DVD or downloaded it illegally anyway.
Yeah, come on, man. Give us something new.
Like we talked about, like you don't buy a new console for old games. Well, I'm definitely not subscribing just for old games.
Exactly.
No one does that. Yeah.
And just to point out, we had another unfortunate pony-like comment from our buddy Dauntless, who says, let me read this. He says, what good is having Game Pass if most Xbox gamers aren't playing what's on there? Now,
it's an easy answer.
Does anyone want to tell them that and Jedi actually already responded. He's like, one, where did you even get that stat from that you just claimed? Because I've never seen such a thing said by anybody. Have you all seen anything like that where
No.
Xbox gamers aren't playing what's on Game Pass? I've seen the exact opposite.
How many times we go into a party and we're like, what's everyone playing? If you downloaded this off Game Pass, that's all we talk about. Is playing games
That
off
guy
Game
better
Pass.
never not. That guy Donald better never come to WBG.
Hey, destroyed.
The chat will kill him.
The chat will destroy him.
That's just really out of touch.
The easy point, the easy response to that is, let's look at the question. What good is having Game Pass if most, let's just alliterate what you're saying there, if most Xbox gamers are not playing what's on there? So are you assuming that most PlayStation players are playing what's on PlayStation? So are most PlayStation fans, let's just say there's 110 million consoles sold. Yeah? You see where I'm going with this, can't you? There's 100 million consoles sold, and most of those gamers playing, the 110 million playing God of War.
Nope.
Did 110 million play God of War? No.
Nope.
You look at the attachment rate though for like Sea of Thieves, Halo Infinite initially, and then like Forza Horizon 5, and they were like talking about 20 million players. It's like, and how many subscribers were on the service at the time? Like 25 million. So the attachment rate for that, the access and the availability to play those games day one is there. So yeah, that's a really, really silly statement, Dauntless, that you really should not say unless you can back it up with evidence.
He can't back it up. He knows
can't back it up because if you've been playing Halo with us, if you've been in our party chats, as you have been, you know we talk about the games coming to Game Pass. You know that we're only a small pocket of the community, but you know that our community is vast and massive. And if we're talking about it, other people are talking about it. Yes, there's a lot of casuals who aren't aware of it. And that's just the reality of the situation. But, you know, there's still a huge attachment rate for games coming to Game Pass. Indie devs are talking about how big an impact this has had because they're not used to seeing numbers like they are with people playing their games as soon as they release. They're not used to it. And it's just the most out of touch statement from you in a while I've seen, Dauntless. So, yeah.
Unfortunately, we've seen a few of those from he came on our podcast. But anyway, you know, the brother means well.
He does. I understand what he's trying to say.
I think
he's in the wrong circles.
I think he's misguided and he has his ideology screwed up. But I think he's been around with too many ponies. They kind of get some hay on him or something. I don't know. Hay is for horses, Dauntless.
Well,
wires are for bots.
In saying what's happening with people playing games, like, and now you've got cloud with Game Pass, so you don't even need to install some of these games to the console itself. Series S, man, outselling the PlayStation 5 like hugely, like maybe about 4,000 units, and that's just the Series S. In Japan, like last week. I mean, Nintendo is obviously the biggest champion out there, outselling everyone in their home territory. But like, you can start to see the impact that the price hike is going to have in certain markets. If they don't think they're getting a good deal, they're going to go where the real deal is, and that's the Series S. It's just the fact.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And Dauntless, because he came back, and like I said, I don't think he's trying to be inflammatory, because he said, notice he didn't say that y'all then don't play game
yeah,
Pass
I think
games.
it's just generalizing.
Yeah, but you generalize to say most. You don't know most to say that.
I haven't spoken
You don't
to
know the
most
stats
gamers.
to say that. Yeah, we haven't done that. So when people always say, most don't do this, you have nothing to back that up. You haven't met most people. Most men are like this, and you know that how? You've met over what, 1 billion plus men. You see what I mean?
I
So
can't stand when people say that.
yeah, you have to be
Yeah.
careful with those type of statements,
You do,
Dauntless. It's just not based in reality. I think sometimes we go off our own thoughts and we put that, or we go off
Echo
anecdotal
chambers.
evidence of thoughts.
Yeah.
Yeah, in echo chambers, and we'll be like, oh, that's everybody, or that's most. No, it's not at all. And I would argue, we have proof otherwise, where developers are coming out, like Jedi pointed out, who are saying that they got much more than they thought they would have got as far as people playing their games and the life expectancy of it because it was on Game Pass. Like Jedi pointed out too. Who would have played Power Wash Simulator without it being on Game Pass?
Not me.
Yeah.
And I finished that campaign.
I would. Yeah.
That shooter recently, what's the origami or something? Recently, just said they're extending their time on Game Pass,
and they say they love it.
Yeah,
they put
love
a little
it.
heart and all.
Yeah, they extended it on Game Pass because it says on Game Pass, nowhere else other than Game Pass.
Right.
So it's like you don't support developers. When you get developers actually come out and go, no, we'll extend our time because we're getting supported. We're not getting supported anywhere else, and it's a fake narrative. You need to just stop following these channels. It's a fake narrative. You're being preached by the wrong people.
I agree.
Yeah. But anyway, I think we're going to round up now. Are we, Red?
Yeah, I think so. Does anyone else have anything that they want to say before we start doing outros and heading out?
I just want to hear Guru sing another R. Kelly song or something. I don't know.
I don't.
Down low, I don't know.
I like my eardrums not bleeding.
I'm trying to get him signed to WBG Records. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get,
I need to hear a little bit more from him.
We
Yeah,
can
we
do
can
that
get him
after the
some-
show.
yeah.
You can stick around after the show, and he can serenade you both. It's fine.
About having cameras in toilets. That's what I need to do.
But thank you so much. You've all stuck around for another episode of the Gamers Initiative podcast. Ashtray was not here sadly this week, but he should be back next week. And who do we have on next week, Elite? Who's our guest?
I don't know what state. I can't remember.
Oh my
I think it's a Ham Solo.
I'm going to be here for Ham Solo for once. I've missed
my
him
boy.
every time he's been on
Yeah.
because I've had something on. I will be here next week. I won't be here the week after. I'm going to Weta Workshop and World of Wearable
lazy.
Arts show. So I
You
won't-
going to Weta?
yeah, I'm going to go to Weta. Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Man. And all sorts. It's like a 7-hour drive, so yeah, I'm not going to be here for the
A
show.
long drive.
Yeah, it
but I
is.
guess it's kind of worth it though for Weta. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Well,
It's
they
It's
got
like a
definitely
sets
is.
community, is it?
Lord of the Rings. Didn't they make that too? Didn't they do the special effects?
They
for
did
too, I
that. Well,
believe?
Weta Workshop.
Yeah.
Who was it? Oh, what's the other?
Well, I know you got Industrial Light and Magic. I know that's the next biggest
they
one. The other
what
biggest
they
one.
do. Who?
Yeah.
Oh, what's the? Oh, I can't think of the other. Oh my god! Because you've got Unreal Engine. What's the other one that was very popular? And I can't think of what it's called. There's another.
Unity.
Is it Unity? Yeah, Unity bought some stuff from. Bought out Weta or technology out from Weta to put into the Unity engine. But yeah.
Okay.
Well, just remind everyone where they can find you. Dirt, it's been amazing having you on this week. As per usual, you're really awesome. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Check out my channel, Dirt Griggity. I dropped a video earlier talking a lot of trash. So check out my channel. We got WBG Xbox podcast on Monday evening, 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. So yeah, stop by and say what's up. Yeah, especially Dauntless. Come on in there so you can get killed in the chat.
Yeah, I've just been advised by Fuck You that I have to say rubbish. So there, I've said rubbish for you. And just let other Zinc know I've said it as well, because that's the only reason you guys show up every week.
Other Zinc. So where the Zinc at?
I don't know, but he usually pops in. He'll probably watch this after
Other
the
Zinc,
fact.
my homie, but he get mad if you criticize Xbox.
Yes, he does.
He want to fight you if you say.
I've seen him on Boom's podcast. Sometimes.
He gets
Boy,
mad, bro.
Yes,
he gets
does.
mad.
I was
Like
this
when
dude
I
is-
criticize the
he's not
Xbox
taking
One Gen, but
Yeah.
he gets mad at me. I was like, Zinc, Xbox themselves said it was.
it.
I was like, in the documentary, they admit he was like, no, Dirt, you don't understand. I was like, oh, goodness, bro. No, but shout out to Zinc wherever he at, man.
Yeah.
Good dude.
And Infinite Umbra, where can everybody find you? And thank you so much for joining us this week. It's been awesome having you on.
It's been awesome talking with you guys, and of course, always with Dirt. But yeah, you guys can find me on Twitter, of course, under Umbra Infinite or Infinite Umbra. You'll find me either way.
And all your
And
old
of course,
accounts
the
that
Xbox-
just have just come out of the wall.
Oh yeah, all my alt accounts. Yeah, I'm thinking I'm like one of the only people that has just one account. Am I doing it wrong? I don't know. Maybe I need some burners or something. But yeah, so you can find me on Twitter for that. And our podcast starts in less than 30 minutes.
Yeah.
The Xbox Infinite podcast. So if you all are free to come by or you're bored,
Going back to back, huh?
yeah, going back to back, man, like Drake up in here. But come by and say hi to us. Give us a like, and Dauntless, come by and spread more of your pony propaganda, and we'll get it on there. Nah, you always welcome, Dauntless. I'm just messing with you, but we're gonna get you right eventually. We'll get you right, and of course, so we got our buddies Logic and Sensei from Sensei Thoughts podcast.
Man.
Yeah, they're coming through tonight. Good dudes, and next week we got a big one coming up. We got a big one. We got Cole Eastwood coming through next week.
Nice.
Yeah.
Gee.
It'll be a good show.
So you guys come through. Absolutely.
Going hardcore. We have to compete with that.
Yeah, we have to bribe him. I don't know. We have to bribe him. I just told him be nice 1,000 times, and he showed up.
You see MVP.
Yeah. That's all. I was just like, be nice, be nice, be nice. And he was like, all right, I'll come through. No, but
awesome.
I think Risk pulled him, honestly. But yeah, so you guys come through and check us out sometime. And, we got our community night. So, Red got to come through and survive somehow, even though she should have died a million times. And, and we'll get Pete tighten them up and get him right and send him on his way. Off you go, Pete. Yeah.
He'll die a little less. No, he'll probably die a lot if it's just you and me up against him. Yeah. He ain't surviving that.
Yeah, we'll get him right.
Yeah. We'll keep him in his place. Keep him humble. Elite, as per usual. Always great doing the show with you. But yeah,
amazing.
Ready to say goodbye?
Yeah, I'm ready to go. I'm really knackered. I'm sorry. I'm suffering with COVID. I've got COVID. So I'm
feel better, brother. I thought I saw you say that. Yeah, feel better.
Yeah. So I'm ready to go to sleep now.
Well, thank you.
But thanks all for joining us in chat. Thank you for the guest. Thank you, Umbra, for joining us. It's fantastic to hear from you. And Dirt, my idol. I was just looking at your eyes.
Thanks for having me.
Imagine your eyes. That's creepy. But thank you all for your chat and thank you all for joining us. And I think we're going to sign out now and goodbye for now.
Bye, guys.
Peace out.
Guys.